you know what this reminds me of? When I worked at the helicopter company, helicopter support. It 1,000,000% reminds me of that. Band. Gone forever. Band. Gone forever. Band. Gone forever. Band. I worked for a major company, a helicopter company. It's called Aftermarket Support for Helicopters. Okay? They're flying around. Things are breaking down, parts are wearing out. We're a one-stop shop for helicopters. So I was told, we see potential for you. You're better than just working customer support. Revamp the business from ground up. You can map it out and find bottlenecks and find shortcomings and find helicopters so that our company runs more efficiently. Okay? So I busted my ass, I worked my ass off, I did double work, never got paid for it. And you say, oh, it's part of the process, man, it's just part of corporate America. Fuck you. Band. Gone forever. Band. Gone forever. Band. Gone forever. Band. It happened to me. Fuck you. Why don't you listen to me? You don't know shit. It happened to me. So shut the fuck up. Why don't you listen to me? Cause no one cares. It happened to me. Fuck you. Why don't you listen to me? You don't know shit. It happened to me. So shut the fuck up. Why don't you listen to me? Cause no one cares. It happened to me. Fuck you. Why don't you listen to me? You don't know shit. It happened to me. So shut the fuck up. Why don't you listen to me? Cause no one cares. Because then there was some weird running meme once I finally showed a picture of my wife that they said she looks like a horse. And I was like,
I need my horse, baby. Oh. She's like my mother and my lover.
I love the horse.
I love my horse, baby. I love my horse, baby. I love the horse, baby, dog. She's like my mother and my lover, yeah. I love my horse, baby. She's like my mother and my lover, dog. I love my horse, baby, dog. You're my soulmate. Put some makeup on your eyes right before you cry. Never ever say goodbye, married till I die. You're my soulmate. I just wanna get on top of you and ride until the sunset. Baby, let's go get some DoorDash. Let's go to Burger King. Fuck all the junkies in front. They're just shooting up like they got guns. Let me get you a nice little burger with the buns. I got all the funds. I just wanna chill and have fun. You can play video games as long as I get drunk. Make some quick pulls, those are my rules. And if you follow them, I might say I love the horse, baby, dog. She's like my mother and my lover, yeah. I love my horse, baby.
I love the horse.
I need my horse, baby.
There's nothing whatsoever on my wife that looks like that.
I love my horse, baby. She's like my mother and my lover, dog. I love my horse. horse, baby. Oh, you're my soulmate. Put some makeup on your eyes right before you cry. Never ever say goodbye, married till I die. You're my soulmate. You're my soulmate. I need my horse, baby. Oh, she's like my mother and my lover. I love my horse, baby. I love my horse, baby. I need my horse, baby. Oh, she's like my mother and my lover. I love my horse, baby. I love my horse, baby.
You wanna know what he did? He took the face of the escort and put a horse's head on it, and he said, my wife looks like a horse.
I need my horse, baby. Oh, she's like my mother and my lover.
We love casting spells.
Huh? What? Oh, I'm here now. Hello, hello. Thank you all for showing up and banishing yourself to the Atlas realm this morning. I really appreciate it. Ignore the mic problems at the beginning. I updated my stupid OBS, okay? And for some reason, it disconnected my microphone. Huh? Dude, these fucking idiots have no idea what they're doing at OBS. This free software that they've allowed me to use? Bullshit. They should, never mind. I'm not going to finish that. Thank you all for showing up today. I hope you're ready to watch a bunch of great DSP clips. And you know they're great because I didn't have to go and find them myself. DSPs had a fantastic week when all of the clips are already just set up perfectly. 20 to 30 minutes long, and it's just filled to the brim with gold. Thank you so much, Infamous KS, for joining the 60 Skulls for 1 month. And he says, big ups, Atlas. Well, big ups to you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Like I said, the guy he's had a week, man. The detractor hate, the lawsuit talk, the demanding of money, all pretty standard for the guy, but exceptional this week, I'd like to say. Eric Brennan asking after the plants. Oh yes, the Atlas weekday segment, I guess, every day that I'm not here. I can tell you my plants are growing. My tomato, I don't have any pictures, I'm sorry. My tomato plants are getting out of control a little bit. There's a bunch of tomatoes growing on them. They're all still green, of course, but they are overlapping on my green peppers, and I might have to do something about it soon, but I'm not there yet. I'll have to figure it out. And I also continued to watch movies this week. I watched There Will Be Blood. That movie was really good. I enjoyed that. And I watched Shutter Island, 2 movies I've never seen. I really enjoyed both of them, which is a surprise because I don't enjoy movies a lot. Thank you, Jordan Fadeaway, for the 4 months as a member of the Skeleton Gang, the 60 Skulls as we call them. Ethan Klein inadvertently gassing up DSP is the funniest shit ever for his lol suit campaign. I also think that it's really funny, and he's really riding that wave. I don't know if he's doing it intentionally to be relevant to some capacity, or if he's just that full of himself. It's probably the latter. But thank you for the 4 months, Jordan Fadeaway. There is a soft divorce line. I do actually have something to do today. I'm not just gonna go and get a Big Mac from McDonald's after the stream and pretend to be busy and do chores. I actually have to leave. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna start listening to the guy bitch right now.
Now remember, the reason that Blueprints is continuing is because of your support. Last week, it was on the chopping block. I said, guys, I can't keep playing Blueprints and get a $20 stream, but I will proceed to try to finish this game if we get support. And we did. We hit the goal last week. In fact, we hit 2 goals last week.
Oh shit, guys! 2
stream,
goals
which is
during
absolutely
Blueprints?
insane.
Huh?
I can't believe we hit 2 goals during the stream. It's just wild and not expected. So because of that, we ended up doing a DSP tries it and all that.
If I recall correctly, that shit-ass Blueprint stream that nobody asked for and he absolutely like stalled his way into, the only reason it hit 2 goals was because somebody dropped $150 or like I think it was like 120 euros or something really lame. Shout out all my Europeans, you have a bad currency. They dropped all of the money for the first goal themselves, so it was kind of just a normal stream, if you ask me, without the additional whale. But of course, this is the biggest win DSP has ever seen. Blueprints gets to continue, yada yada yada. You know.
And so here we are, back in exactly the same position, because today, folks, we are at 28 out of 30 goals hit here on the stream. That means that if we get 2 goals hit during the stream, I will be ordering the Wendy's Takis menu, including the new chicken sandwich, the fries. I don't think there's a drink, correct? It's just the chicken sandwich and the fries. So I will be ordering that live, and we're going to try it as a special DSP tries it.
We will not be watching that. You know how it goes around here. We're not watching that. And I still haven't tried it myself, even though I am a massive Takis enjoyer. Yes, I am that kind of trash that enjoys Takis on the regular, if possible.
Let's take a look here. Oh, guess what?
Also a hot Cheeto enjoyer, and that is not a slur.
Shit, I hope they have it. It's not here for delivery.
No, it does sound like
unlike
one.
a lot of the other places that I've ordered from, it's literally 1 block away. Like, that's 10 minutes. Well, maybe 15 minutes for me to drive over there, get it, and drive back. It's not on the menu. Yeah, it's not. I can't get it delivered. Ah, shit. Well, that does suck.
That does suck.
But at least it's a block away. Like, that's actually doable. Apollo says, I would make a call before going out there. Well, the thing is, if it's on their website, then they're going to have it. Yeah, it's right here.
It's right there, dude.
Well, Super Bonchon says, isn't this premature? We have to hit 2 goals. Shouldn't we see if we can do it?
Well, the funniest part to me about this whole thing is that he is still getting things door dashed from less than 15 minutes away. Like, he says it's 15 minutes. I'm going to see if I can find it very quickly. I probably will not be able to. The actual like mapping out of his travel time to the Wendy's, absolutely embarrassing that this guy would have somebody deliver food from that distance. I mean, the motherfucker could legitimately justify walking to get the food and keeping the stream live. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it would be a shitty segment, but it's absolutely possible, and I think that you could get away with it. I can't find it. All I see is an advertisement for Step Mania, Dance Dance Revolution. So I'm gonna move on positively.
Right?
No map segment.
It makes more sense to concretely explain what we're doing and if we can do it, rather than me say that we're doing something and it doesn't work. Like, right now, it won't even do it. I'm trying to do like a guest checkout and it won't work. So maybe I have to make an account, which is stupid as hell.
So stupid that you have to make an account on a website in order to put in your credit card information and give them your address. What? In the year 2025, when there's like triple fucking step verification on every single website? Like, how is he so new to this? How are you on the internet this often for so many years in a row and you're still surprised by the very basics of creating an account in order to get something delivered to your house, you know? Or in order to order something. It's just, he's always so oblivious to the very basics of being on the internet. I'm always shocked by this.
Why is everything happening?
And Great Lobster saying you can check out as a guest half the time. I'm always surprised when there is still a guest checkout option. I like being 100%. I always expect to have to make a dumbass account that I don't want.
Have to be so complicated. This is what I mean. I would like to order some Wendy's. No, you have to go through this. Can't log in this way. Oh, error. Can't do it that. Try this way instead. Oh, wait, now I have to use a passkey. There's no passkey. Now I have to log in this way. Dude, I just want to fucking order a sandwich. I don't want to spend 40 minutes on my podcast trying to figure out if I can order a sandwich from Wendy's. But they're so dumb. They set it up so stupidly. Oh, my God.
And I look, I hate to be the guy to agree with DSP. I really do. But sometimes he does have a point. And I'm going to say it. I also hate signing into a fucking 1,000 different accounts and verifying emails in order to order something online. But the actual solution, if you don't want to do this, is to just fucking go in. Just talk to these people, bro. It's not that big of a deal, right? I don't think that it is. Now I would go through the hassle to save the money through fucking deals or coupons or whatever the case may be. But to actually cry about it and thrash about on stream is kind of absurd.
All right, so yes, I can do it. I can order it through Wendy's itself.
He's scared. Scared to talk to the Wendy's employees? Well, I guess if you lived in a GTA lobby, there are probably GTA NPCs behind the counter too, so that's understandable.
The app, but apparently Wendy's allows you to do delivery through their website. All right, so that's good, thankfully. And it means that I would not have to drive over there. So that's obviously a plus. We can just get it delivered. So if we hit now,
but we've already spent, and this is the clipped version, right? This is the cut down, no dead air, clipped version of this segment, and we've already spent far too much time talking about the goddamn Wendy's goal that we haven't even hit. By the way, I know that he slipped that in there right at the beginning, but he hasn't even hit the goal yet. He's just verifying that it is even a possibility that could happen. That's the kind of segments that you get on DSP Space Gaming. Is that sorry, is that maybe possibly down the road one day we could hit this goal and it'll be available, but you have to sit through 30 minutes of preamble in order to verify. Does that sound like a good time? Does that sound like a good stream?
One, but two support goals on the stream.
I don't.
Like we did last week for Blueprints. Number one, if we don't beat Blueprints today, I will commit to keep playing it once a week till we beat it. And number two, we will do DSP tries at the Takis menu from Wendy's. So let's make it happen. All right? Let's do it. In fact, we got our first piece of support right here.
All right, right here.
$2 tip.
First support, guys. Get excited.
I think you're gaining weight again. You've made good progress so far. Oh, yes, as you can see, I have absolutely...
Doubt him. Absolutely. Shit on him. Day after day, week after week, this becomes more and more obvious that DSP just seethes over the fact that people still see him as a fat, repulsive fuck. He's so butthurt and perturbed over such a simple insult, like an actual playground insult. Ack, old man, you're fat, right? Legitimately crying and bitching and moaning and complaining to his audience when they say these things. Jesus, 43 years old crying about being called fat.
Absolutely ballooned up. Look at me. It's like I'm exploding. I've swollen like Violet turning violet in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when she becomes this giant swollen grape and they have to squeeze the juice out of her in the juicing room. You're absolutely right. I look like Wings of Redemption 8 Boogie. You're right.
And I said this last week, and I'm pretty sure that everybody has said it at this point. Weight does not directly equal health and doesn't directly equal not being fat or being fat. You can just have one of the worst body shapes in history and still be fat regardless of what the number on the scale is. He has no muscle on him. It is literally all fat. There's no tone in it. So regardless of what he thinks or how he feels or how he copes, the statement remains true, and he looks fucking stupid.
Oh my God.
He's fat.
Thanks for the $2 tip. Really nice words to start the day. Really appreciate that. Thanks a lot.
And he does the clown laugh, trying to play it off like we're all jokes, we're having fun, he's exaggerating, but you can just see it's so obvious to anybody that knows how to make fun of somebody or can see this kind of thing on the internet all the time, like you guys. It's so obvious to people like us that this is hurting him, that this legitimately does get under his skin, and he basically confirmed it last week when he said that it, not that it bothers him, but he's really proud about the progress he's made, right? So he's just digging himself his own hole. He's just letting people know how to fuck with him like he has for the past 17 years. He's never stopped giving reactions despite all the claims saying he has.
Anyway.
It's really lame. Thank you, UNFW, so much for the 5. What a cool guy. He can't not respond. He always has to have the last word. Exactly. It's just it's a shitty childish mentality that only leads to his downfall more often than not. And you would have thought the years of experience that he's had by this point, he would have learned that. And he's even claimed to have learned that, but he just can't help himself. He has no self-control. Imagine that. Good old Mitty for the 11 months in the 60 skulls. Thank you, thank you. This guy has nothing to be proud of. Dude, he's a professional who's made a living doing it his own way. What are you talking about? You sound like a friggin' hater, dude. Thank you, good old Mitty, for the 11 months. I agree.
What's going on? I don't know. You're asking the wrong person. All I wanted to do was order the Takis meal from Wendy's. But instead, I got to jump through hoops. I got to get tortured. I got to...
Tortured. That's how he's describing being called fat. It's literal torture, you guys. Like, and so we're not supposed to continue to call him fat? His own audience isn't supposed to continue to deride him by mentioning his weight? It's basically impossible at this point. He's made it so alluring. Like, how could you not, dude?
Be derided by my audience.
Tortured.
$2 to say I'm fat. You know what?
This guy's on the fucking stretching bed. Nothing, dude. Who gives a shit? Put him in the Iron Maiden. Don't care. Call me fat, though? Tortured. Absolutely. I agree.
Screw you, buddy. All right. Anyway. I'm looking pasty today. That's because of the lighting and what I'm wearing and the camera's color adjustment. The lighting today, guess what it's called?
Right.
On the beach.
Oh, it's on the beach. Can you guys tell that this is on the beach? Are you getting beach style vibes? A summer experience? Are you receiving that right now from these incredibly pale lights?
Little pertinent, isn't it? Considering we got Death Stranding coming out in a couple of days, right? We got on the beach. It's supposed to be like waves are crashing in and then peel back. You can see the sand and then the waves come back in again. So
he's so fucking delusional, dude. Like, and I think this every time he does these stupid LED segments where it's like, oh, the theme today is lava cascade, and you guys can see it by the background that the lava's pouring in and there's oranges and reds. It's just, nobody needs all that shit. It's nonsense lighting, brother. There's no theme here at all. It's just RGBs going ape shit in the background, and there's no actual vibe or understanding until he says so. It's actually just made up.
That's the theme of today. Speaking of which, shall we talk a little bit about this? All right. So let's talk a little bit about Death Stranding on the beach, right?
Please.
And this is
I have seen nothing but praise for Death Stranding 2. It looks super good. It loads incredibly fast. I enjoyed the gameplay of Death Stranding despite never beating it. I had a good time when I played it. But DSP, of course, that was not the experience he had. And I'm not, I don't know what his experience with Death Stranding 2 is. But what I do know is that we're going to drop it if we don't hit the goal. But that kind of goes without saying.
Because this is nonsense. It's
Adam Corona asking, how are the graphics in Death Stranding 2? They look fucking fantastic. They look really, really good. I've seen the comparisons of Norman Reedus through PS3, PS4, and PS5. He's the most Norman Reedus I've ever seen Norman Reedus look in a video game. There you go.
Complete nonsense, and you know it is. So let's read it anyway and have a good laugh together. I'm a big fan, but I watched some X clips. You need to improve on begging, wasteful spending, diet, and overreacting. I don't have to do anything. The things you're begging. I can ask for contributions whenever I want.
Okay, we're going like rapid pace today. Sorry if the pacing is garbage. We're just gonna go. You'll notice that they listed off of things that are just inherently, objectively wrong to do on stream. They don't look good. They don't sound good. They're not appealing, and nobody likes to hear them. And DSP's response is not that he doesn't do them, not that he does them sparingly, not that his audience has an understanding. It's just outright defiance instead. It's just telling people that I don't have to do anything. All of these negatives that you've listed, I can continue to do because I'm my own boss. Fuck you. That's actually his response here. Not to jump the gun or anything, but I wanted to point out just how vehemently defiant he is for things that are understandably being requested to be discontinued. It's very funny to me just how quickly he jumps into that. Am I gonna cover his alcoholic rant from yesterday? I don't have it queued up. I thought about it, but I like I said, there is a soft divorce line, and I think that we're gonna hit the timer. So I don't have it ready. If we don't, I'll pull it up.
On begging, wasteful spending, diet, and overreacting. I don't have to do anything. The things you're begging. I can ask for contributions whenever I want on my own stream, and I can conduct myself however I want, and you'll like it.
See, and it's just a reframing of something, like I said, that is just objectively not something that people want to see. Nobody wants to hear begging, but DSP will describe it as asking for contributions whenever he pleases, which is really obnoxious. And he's gonna do it, and you're gonna like it, idiot.
Too bad.
Too bad.
That's my prerogative, and you have no right to try to boss me around and tell me what to do, because you're not my dad, and you're not my boss. I'm my boss. Get it, Chief? Okay.
Get it, Chief?
How about wasteful spending? I can spend my money however I want. Right now, I could literally blow thousands of dollars on nothing, and you'll like it, because it's my money. It's not your business. Deal with it, Chief.
The double chief. You know this guy is just absolutely seething when his insults double up, right? When he calls you a dunce 2 or 3 times back to back in the same rant, you know you've got him, right? And it's no different with any other name. It doesn't matter if it's a derogatory term or not. The repetition of using chief here, brother, fucking battleship hit, right? Well, fuck! All right, where are we at? 12:03. I'm sorry, that was probably really loud. We're here ish. I'm so sorry.
Is into my mouth on stream, and you'll watch it, and you'll like it. Get it, Chief? You don't get to boss me around because I'm nobody's bitch. I don't know where you thought this was coming from, that this is going to go well for you. It's not. I can do and say whatever I please, and people will watch it and like it and support it, and you will still be sitting there miserable because you were sitting and watching clips on X. Thanks.
Shout out X, I guess. I like that we're under the assumption now that people are watching terrible gameplay clips on Twitter instead of just continuing to make fun of him the same way they've been making fun of him for years. I don't know why we've made this jump all of a sudden. I know those clips are doing numbers, but I don't know that that's who's bullying him live.
Okay, now, if we hit 2 support goals on this stream, I will order, which we just figured out, the Takis menu from...
Animu Templar saying that he's still salty about the Doom clip going viral. Well, what's crazy is that I still see clips like that doing really well on Twitter. Like, whoever is posting that up is routinely getting a lot of views on those clips, and they are all basically the same thing. A shit-ass gaming journalist does terrible at, X thing in video game, and they get hundreds of thousands of views basically every single time, with thousands of likes and reposts. So it's not just the Doom clip anymore. It's pretty much anything that DSP has done in the last few months that he was shit at, they've posted.
Wendy's, which is that special chicken sandwich, special fries, and a bag of Takis chips.
Declan saying, notice how he had no defense and didn't address either his eating habits or his overreacting like a clown. True. And I know that he mentioned that yesterday. I hope I have that clip, the clown emote comment that he made. But absolutely right. He got too off in the weeds by calling him chief. Like he wound himself up so much that he legitimately lost the plot of the original conversation and just decided to start deriding this person and telling them to fuck off, as is classic DSP fashion.
I have never actually had...
There's too many detractors out here to shit on. I don't have time to actually talk about the things at hand.
Before. Ever. So I don't even know what they taste like. Someone here yesterday said they had them for the first time ever, and they were way too hot. They bothered them. They were too spicy. So I don't know. I've never had them before. I guess I'll find out firsthand if I like this or not. Okay?
Also, not surprised at all to hear that DSP has never had a Taki. That seems exactly like the type of thing that DSP would never eat. It's got a funny name. It's a hot chip. Typically, youthful adults or even children eat them. It's totally just not. He's not the demographic for Takis, if you ask me.
All right.
Total 43-year-old white dude behavior if I've ever seen it.
So, folks, that's what I've got for today. Big Mac, thanks for 26 months as a member. He says, I am sitting down and I am liking it. Indeed. Thank you very much, Big Mac. So you get it. You understand. Super Bonchon says, if you hit the goals, I think we mean when you hit those goals. Exactly. We know. Right?
Exactly. Because if I don't hit the goals, I'm sending fake tips so I can eat my fat ass fucking food. Come on, guys. My wife has to eat. She can't cook.
Right now, here's what's going to happen. All right, you ready? So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and do it. Let's get that.
What's up,
support
Panko
rolling.
Breadcrumbs?
Got
We
our
are
first
being
super
toxic.
chat of the day. We already got. All right, we got a small tip of the day. That's excellent. Thank you guys for that. We do have some renewed memberships, but those don't count because those aren't fresh. Let's get some memberships right now on YouTube. Let's get someone to give some memberships, and let's get someone to give some subs over on Kick, even if it's just.
I don't know why, but whenever he says, like, oh, these re-ups don't count because they're not fresh, it always just seems so dismissive and insulting to those people. I get what he's saying. I understand how he calculates these numbers. I think it's stupid and lame, and I think his whole gimmick is dumb anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it always just seems so insulting to me. Like, if I was that person, I would just fucking quit. Like, no, regardless of how I feel about the content, if that was the kind of attitude that I was met live on stream, I would just stop supporting this fuck.
One sub. If it's one singular sub, that's good. All right, so let's do it. Let's get some memberships. Let's get some subs. Now, in addition, let's get someone to beat that $6.72 super chat from this guy who I completely destroyed verbally, and he's completely quiet now. And also, let's get someone to beat the $2 tip. Let's get some new people in position.
And his ego is just like it's unchained right now. And that's what I meant by, like, this week the guy has been on one, absolutely just going crazy. I don't know who gassed him up. Maybe it is the H3H3 lawsuit. He thinks that he's finally going to get paid or something. But he legitimately thinks that he is just shitting all over his trolls, that he's dunking on them, that there's nothing they could do. He's the wittiest, funniest person that wins every, verbal exchange on the internet. It's just absolutely insane. Like, levels of delusion that really only DSP and other select lolcows could be capable of. Because anybody else would have, some sort of, like, shame or embarrassment, like, overcome them as they get into these spats on the internet, but not DSP. No. He's built different, guys.
As the top contributors of the day, all right? Real Trap Sheets says, what makes you think people will watch you on the 4th of July? Well, number one, I have an international audience. I don't just have a domestic audience of Americans. In fact, did you know...
Wait, sorry, he has an interactional audience?
Real Trap Sheets says, what makes you think people will watch you on the 4th of July? Well, number one, I have an international audience. I don't...
Am I the only one hearing interactional audience? Or... I know he means international, but it sounds like he's saying interactional.
Don't just have a domestic
okay, you guys are saying international.
You know that
That's
less than half of my viewers are from the United States. It's true. More than half of the people who...
Maybe if he actually enunciated, and I know that's gold coming from me, but maybe if he enunciated, he would be a more understandable. He would be a clearer talker.
Watch me are actually outside of the U.S. So having an event on a U.S. national holiday actually is catering to the majority of my audience. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. That's number one. Number two, a lot of people, although they will be doing things on July 4th, will not be doing it the entirety of the day. I'll be broadcasting from 11 a.m. until like 8, 9 at night. That's a long window that whenever you have some free moments, you just want to come by and hang out, you can. So even if on July 4th, you're going to a cookout, you're hanging out with your friends or family, you're pounding a few, you could still come by the stream whenever you want. And number three, and this obviously is the biggest reason that people would come by on July 4th to hang out with me, I'm the fucking king.
Of
People
course,
want to spend time
obviously.
with me. Like you sitting here right now in my chat asking me that question. You're here because you find me entertaining or fascinating for whatever reason, and you want to spend time here. I'm in demand. That's why.
And there's a slight truth in that. You find DSP interesting or fascinating for whatever reason. This is like an actual admittance that a large portion, if you know, you know, a large portion of DSP's audience is actually just there because they're gawking at the animals at the zoo, right? They went to the circus to see the fat lady and his and her skeletal husband. That's what they're doing there. It's not a positive, chill experience where they love this guy and his commentary. It's literally to gawk. And he even has to understand that to some extent, and I think that's why he worded it that way.
Why people will be here on July 4th. Get it?
But he has an absolutely massive ego to think that people are going to take time out of their day when they're supposed to be spending time with their family or whatever and celebrating the nation to watch his stream. Of course they will. That's always going to be the case. Streamers really shouldn't stop streaming just because it's a holiday. There are absolutely lonely people out there that will have free time and will stop in and will even give money for some reason. But I just think that it's absurd that he would say so so vocally and so publicly like that, it just reeks of being full of himself, which is never a good look. That sort of arrogant confidence that he shows and in displays like that are infinitely detestable.
Okay, thanks.
And Iron Reaper saying, no, honey, we can't go see fireworks this year. I'm going to swing by Phil's and drop a hundo. Well, and that's kind of the thing, too. It's like to spend your time watching DSP and, God forbid, supporting the motherfucker. Like, imagine the fun like the fun fireworks you could have seen or experiences you could have had. Just putting a portion of that money into something else. You can go and buy fireworks for less money than some people give the guy on a regular basis. You can go to the beach for a fraction of the cost and have an all-day outing that is going to be more memorable than watching this guy put on vests. But some of them won't.
Very nice.
Jambalaya, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
This is the
And
driver
I'm sure they do too.
PS2 with the wheel for extra entertainment. I can't. The wheel doesn't work with PlayStation. The wheel works only with PC and Xbox. I don't have the PlayStation wheel. And I doubt that the game is compatible with the wheel regardless. So, excuse me. Becky says you're...
For the record, I do hate the wheel gimmick. I'm tired of it. I'm sick, Grandpa, or I'm tired of it, Grandpa. I'm sick of this shit. I don't want to do it anymore. The wheel is the worst gimmick. I'm going to say he has too much fun, but I think the problem is actually that he's not even entertaining, but he thinks that he is. That's the most annoying part. It is some of the worst goddamn gameplay I've seen. The drinking does not help. In fact, it makes him even more insufferable. But he thinks that this gimmick is the next big thing. I'm sick of it. I hate it. Thank you so much, Utina Hiragai. That's how I'm pronouncing it. Thank you so much for the 2, saying international audience excluding Argentina. Or what was the other one that he was dealing with? God, I can't remember. I want to say it was like Nigeria or something. But yes, those countries excluded, of course, because their currency isn't worth anything to him.
Auto ads on the live streams are wild. Why? What ads are playing today? I'm just curious. I have it set to automatic average. I don't have it set to high ads or low ads. It's medium ads, but I don't know what it is because I don't work for YouTube. I don't know how it works. How are the ads today, Becky?
How are the ads, you guys?
Lay it on me because I don't see them. Do I have analytics to show what country?
Nobody should have ads. Guys, please, for the love of God, use ad block. Stop giving YouTube money. Real talk, please. At least not in that form. Come on now. Thank you, Virgil16, for the 5 gifted. I think I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much.
My viewers are from. I could bring that up in the app. Sure, I could. We haven't done that in a while. Let's see here. So on DSP Gaming, if I go to Analytics, and I'll go to Audience.
I forgot we did a demographic
segment. This is going to be for like a month. Usually, it takes the data. So
and this is just another one of those segments that I don't think that you would find any other content creator doing. I don't think that any other professional full-time content creator is going to go into their analytics and tell you exactly the percentage in which their audience views them from in which countries for the month. I don't think that that's exactly a segment that needed to be created. I don't think that that's particularly interesting, especially given that this is a gaming channel. And I don't think that it's relevant to your audience. I don't.
Oh.
Yo, thank you, Glenn, for subbing to the channel.
Okay, sure.
Very cool.
Well, particularly in the last 30 days.
Right.
This is from May 20.
So this is completely irrelevant information that changes on a month-to-month basis and means nothing. So we're going to carry on with that.
26 to June 22nd. Actually, 56% of my views did come from the United States. So in this regard, I was off for this month. I was slightly off because usually that's not the case. Usually it's like United States is like 47 and then it's like 53 international. For some reason, there must have been a spike of US viewers. Oh, I know why. The stupid Mario Kart. Because I was playing Mario Kart and people posted on X and shit. A lot of people came over to watch me play Mario Kart and I got a boost in views and it must have all been American viewers for some reason. So there you go.
Completely baseless claim that comes out of nowhere with no evidence to support it whatsoever. He's just assuming that it's Mario Kart's fault, calling it stupid, by the way, just to show you how much he's actually enjoying the game. But just blaming Mario Kart and the stupid idiot fucking trolls on Twitter who posted him out of context, of course.
Okay.
It's all their fault that he has majority American viewers, as if that's a problem, I guess.
So after United States, we have United Kingdom, 12.6%, Canada, 5%, Australia, 2%, Germany, 1.3%, Sweden, 1%.
Shout out my 1% Germans and Swedes, I guess, not Swedens.
The Netherlands, 1%, Ireland, 0.9%, Brazil, 0.9%, and Finland, 0.6%, and then they stopped tracking. So there you go.
There you go. Aren't you glad we did that?
There you go.
Was that robust and meaningful to you?
So I'm very popular with the Brits. The Brits like me. Argentina.
They don't like him. I actually think that and this is my personal Atlas Theo theory. Shout out Theo, of course. I have a sneaking suspicion that the reason that DSP has so many Euro style viewers is specifically because they enjoy watching the stereotype that is the stupidest American streamer. That is genuinely what I believe is happening. I think that is why there is so many UK style detractors, even, is because he just fits the stereotype so well. It's like making fun of British people for their teeth or their inability to say certain letters in the English language that they created. If they just fit it so well, you can't help but gawk and stare at being the stereotype. So that's, again, my Atlas style Theo theory. Shout out Demi Fiend for the 2 saying, when did you first start hating Phil? Curious. I want to say that I saw DSP for the first time in like 2015, and I've hated him since. Like, I started watching SOK videos. Like, that was the beginning of DSP existing for me. It's always been a hate. I've never liked this guy. It's pretty easy.
No, I don't know Argentina.
Thank you for the 2, of course.
That's what I say. When I get Argentina contributions, they're fake. They're for VPN. No one truly from Argentina has heard of Darkside Phil. It's all bullshit. Guys, what else would you like to talk about? Again, please tag me in the chat if you'd like to talk about something. You got any questions? If we run out and it slows down, we'll just go right into blueprints. Now, remember, today the idea is, number 1, to try to beat blueprints or get as far as we can. Number 2, to get support. Because if we hit the
Evil
goal,
Dave, basically from the womb. As I was born in 2012, 2015 was very young, and I was just a very early hatred for the guy. You're right.
For blueprints, 1 goal. It means I will continue to play blueprints until we beat it once a week. And number 3, if we hit 2 support goals during this stream, we will be doing DSP Tries It, the Takis menu from Wendy's. All right, so let's get it going. We got no subs over on Kick, no memberships
Surprise,
on YouTube.
surprise.
No one is beating the top tip. What is going on here? Absolutely unacceptable behavior. Let's go. That gets us up-
I'll do the laugh for him, since I know it was kind of a requirement on the end of that to sell the joke, but it's never a joke either. That's what gets me about those segments, and why I think that they're so gross, is because I know that he's trying to do like an over the top, like demanding, like a PPP style, but unfortunately it just doesn't come across for him because he has no charisma. He has no social talent whatsoever. It's just shameless and disgusting. But he doesn't understand that, because he genuinely thinks the way that he communicates with other people is normal. He thinks that's typically how people talk, and that he's not weird whatsoever. Which once you understand that about the guy, a lot of the ways that he behaves becomes self-explanatory. Even though I'm still bewildered, it is normal for the guy. Thank you, decompressing melancholy for the 2 New Zealand dollars, saying Cyrax fought his troll IRL, more man than DSP. True, I guess, if that's the standard you're using for a man. I don't think that people should go physically attack DSP. I think that's a bad idea. We should be pointing and laughing. That's my official stance. YouTube, write that on the record. Thank you so much for the 2 New Zealand dollars, though. Decompressing melancholy. And Vaporware 336 with the 5, thank you so much, saying never seen someone obsess over analytics and view count this way without improving their content / commentary. Another SOK op be upon him, inshallah. Thank you so much for the 5. I agree. he's always been Mr. Views. He's always been reading the comments and blocking people since fucking day one. But at no point does he ever actually make any progress towards being better. It's almost like all of the legitimate criticism and commentary that people have about his content goes directly over his head, and he interprets as insults, which just shouldn't be the case. Thank you, Vaporware 336 for the 5 and a great point.
$22 to support. Guys, it is a slow start, but it's certainly not doable. We do need a rallying if we're going to hit a goal to number 1, continue with blueprints, and number 2, do DSP tries it. Let's see what happens. Nitro, I didn't get your $10 tip through PayPal.
Yo, that's the real PWR? How cringe. Ack.
So, it's probably with those. Careful with your back foot, buddy. You got your claws there, and you got my skin. There you go.
There you go.
Good boy. I'd have to measure because the height right now is perfect. So I'd have to measure height-wise and see if I can get a table that is that tall off the ground, because I don't want to have one that's, ow, Jasper, clawed me. I don't want to have one that's too high and it's way up here, or too low, and then it's, it has to be the right angle and the right height. But, I mean, to be honest, it's not that big of a deal, right? You're not looking at the table, you're looking at the stuff on top of it. It's not a huge problem.
I mean, it could be presented better. It doesn't... To me, I don't think that it so much matters that they're tables. I just, the display and how they're displayed definitely goes into the aesthetics of how they're perceived, if that makes any sort of sense. Like, if you went to a museum and they had all of the artifacts just on those white fold-out tables, that would be the shittiest museum you've ever gone to in your entire life, and nobody would pay for that. But if you displayed them in cases and stands and displays, then it actually has some sort of legitimacy to it, if that makes any sort of sense, and it just looks better on the eyes. And I think that's why DSP should care about the tables, but of course anything is good enough for the guy until it's not, in which case it's the most needed upgrade that he's ever had, and it was a long time coming, and he's so much better off with it now, of course. It's whatever needs to fit the narrative today. The Deep Fryer with the 5 saying, part of me wishes Phil would do movie reviews. Could you imagine his insane take on films like Sinners, Irish and Black People, Double Phil bigotry? He used to do movie reviews, and while I think that they were absolutely terrible, and I think they made for some great Detractor content from other people that aren't me, he doesn't want to do them anymore because nobody watched them, which is completely understandable. They were dog shit. He was just reading synopsi off of the internet, and then giving some of the worst, like, dunderheaded takes that have ever existed and expecting that to do numbers. So I understand why he doesn't, but I do kind of agree. I think his movie reviews offered something that he doesn't even offer anymore in any capacity. So then thank you so much, The Deep Fryer, for the 5. And Paul Turner for the 10 months, saying Phil officially has no chill. I agree. He's on one.
You scratched me. Dang it, Jasper, man, you scratched me. He didn't mean to, but all right, hold on.
Hold on,
guys.
my
leg because I'm wearing shorts. I got to go disinfect this scratch. Give me a sec. I'll be right back, and then we'll continue. Sorry, it's a big scratch here.
I agree. Now, I will tell you, as a 4-cat owning individual myself, I've had cats my entire life. I've been scratched by many a cat, both on purpose and on accident. I don't think that I've ever fucking disinfected a cat scratch. Never in my life. I don't know if I'm just built different, if I'm just built of a sterner material, but I've never in my fucking life, and they've never been infected, and it's not even a problem. We just move on, brother.
Are we ordering the Takis menu today? That depends on you. That depends on you and your support. Right now we're at, geez, what are we at? 20-something of support? We got to hit 2 goals. We got to hit 1 goal to confirm that blueprints will continue till we beat it. We got to hit 2 goals for DSP tries at Taki's menu from Wendy's today. Really? MVL versus I own a Rottweiler. He's a big teddy bear. He's sweet. Again, the dog is directly in the behavior of the dog is directly to the response of the environment that it is provided. If you treat that dog with love and care and affection, and you train it well so it's disciplined, any dog can be a perfect, well-behaved sweetheart dog. It's not the breed. Or is it true that there are certain breeds that maybe are overly more aggressive by default? Of course. But if you take care of the dog, it ain't going to be like that. It's people who, oh, I want to be a man. I'm manly, so I need to have a pit bull so I look like I'm a tough guy with a tough dog around me. So they get the pit bull. Do they treat it like shit?
So, and I'm gonna stop him here. My parents own pit bulls. I know that this is specifically the type of dogs, you know, pit bulls, Rottweilers, that style. How can in one sentence he say that they are predisposed by breed to be more aggressive, and while simultaneously saying that if you treat them right, that they won't have those tendencies? I feel like that's a contradicting thing, right? That just doesn't make any sort of sense to me whatsoever. And that doesn't even not necessarily breed with this. What is this sentence structure? You can't say that about human beings. You can't say that about dogs. And I don't mean different breeds of human beings. We're all human beings, of course, but it's not inherently just all nurture over nature. Like, to some extent, like, you are who you are genetically. You, like he said, predisposed. Sometimes your environment doesn't matter. You're just an asshole piece of shit, like the guy is, right? It didn't matter whether his parents loved him or how they treated him or this, that, or the other. I think he was always destined to be who he was, because you could see the lessons that he was supposed to be taught and how he walked away with them, if that makes any sort of sense. But we're gonna move on.
Right now, the pitbull's a vicious animal that attacks things, and he's like, well, that's because you didn't do it right, because you're an asshole, an irresponsible dick.
This is what we call a hypocrisy speed run. I think you're right, the Wolverine doll. I think you're right.
A bitch. Like, you're actually a bitch because you actually think that having an animal around you makes you tough. No, it makes you look weak. It makes you're a bitch. You're not tough because you need an animal around you to make yourself look like you're tougher than you are. That's ridiculous. It just shows weakness. We are winding down. We're gonna.
But of course that had to turn into some shit on another person segment, a great name that I've just come up with, by the way. Feel free to use that. We had to do another one of those segments where we deride other people that we've literally never met and possibly never experienced because this guy doesn't go outside. Like, actively addressing a stereotype that DSP has probably only ever seen on the internet. A very valid segment to do, of course.
End the show within 10 minutes.
Yes,
anyway.
shit on an imaginary person. Exactly, Penitent Sid. That's what the point of that was.
Normally, I would end the show around 1. It's 12:52, so we're nearing the end of the podcast, and then we're going to jump into Blueprints. I hope that many of you will stick around as we attempt to finish the game and support it, so we can at least continue it until we finish it. If we hit the goal today, we will. If we get a double goal on this stream, so that would be $300 raised. We're going to do DSP Tries It, Wendy's Takis Menu. But we have to get 2 goals on this stream. How did COVID affect the 10-year plan? All right,
Great
fast,
question.
I'll address this, okay?
Real
in
fast.
2019,
And I don't even know why he would, just from the jump, I don't know why he would talk about this. I don't know why he would read this. I don't know why this is anybody's business aside from his at this point and Detractors. That should have been step number 1, is not address it, because this is clearly a troll question. My Epic Journey 73, thank you so much for the 2, saying, then what does it mean to him sub a cat for a son? That's a great question. I guess that doesn't matter because he doesn't think that big dogs make you a big man. I guess that was the takeaway. I'm unsure, actually, but that's a great question. Thank you for the 2.
I went back to Connecticut to visit my parents and also to get married at the same time. At that time, things were very different in my life, all right? I wasn't doing well financially at all. Things were falling apart. I couldn't afford to pay off any of the debt that I had, and it was all ballooning and becoming unmanageable to the point where I was afraid of losing everything. At that,
which he should have, by the way. I'm an active bankruptcy hater, if personally, and that might be cruel and unusual, but I don't believe in bankruptcy. I believe in putting this guy in the fucking dirt of debt. Again, might be cruel, but
point with my mother, I was speaking with her and we talked about a 10-year plan to get out of being this as my job because things were going so poorly. Okay. And the idea was that I would kind of do phases, different phases of things, that maybe within like 5 years, I would have, be doing part-time streaming, part-time, another job on the side. And then eventually I could transition out of the streaming to the IRL stuff. The thing was, back then, things were very different.
They were super different. So different.
Happening was,
back then, he was begging and complaining on stream and playing games that he didn't like, and people were bullying him, and he had no money. Now, he's begging and playing games that he doesn't like, and people are bullying him, but now he has some money. Sound good?
COVID happened. And when COVID happened, the world changed. And what ended up happening was, as you've seen, online-based things became way more realistic, prominent, stable. In real life stuff actually fell through. Like, for example, if, thank God, I hadn't just decided to quit this cold turkey and get a job in real life, because I probably would have lost my job during COVID. And then I would have been asked out and lost everything.
But why would that have been the case? Why would DSP have lost his job during COVID? Now I know a lot of people did. I know a lot of people were out of work. But is that just DSP's assumption that he was going to get like a shitty service job that isn't an absolute, requirement? His assumption is that he was going to get a useless job that really benefited nobody. Sorry to anybody that works service. It's just not the most necessary job, personally. Again, I'm just on my mean arc today, I guess.
Okay. So since over 6 years ago.
Yeah, well, and that's my standpoint, Roach Bait. I was also essential. I got 1 week off, and then they realized that it wasn't feasible, so I went back to work, and that was the experience for a lot of people that I knew personally. So you could just have a job that didn't do that, and it would have been fine, and you wouldn't have had to beg on the internet. Pretty straightforward, actually.
No. Tons of stuff has changed. I am way better off in my life. I'm, out of the rut and the problems that I had, and things have turned around so much better for me that there is no 10-year plan. There's no reason for it. My life is much better. My content has turned around. I'm way more profitable. Everything's good. So idiots who bring that up are actual fucking morons who actually think that when you're down in life, that you're down forever, that there's no possible way that things could improve, that things could change, that everything is just completely like that for an infinite amount of time. That is a simpleton's childlike way of thinking. It is borderline obsession.
I don't hang on now. How did we get to that conclusion? It's borderline obsession to remember something that you said openly, publicly on stream. I don't know how we came to that conclusion. That seems pretty normal, actually, to remember the things that people have said to you. Maybe in DSP's fucking backwards world. Thank you, Paul Turner, for the 5.
What?
Do you think that Phil was considering an Uber career? We all know that driving is his secret dread. Oh, hell no. No, the guy, first off, the guy can't drive. He doesn't have a license. He's never wanted to drive, and that's been made clear since the beginning. Second off, Ubering is too much social interaction for the guy. That's just without saying 100%. That's too many random new people. I mean, think about it. What if somebody was a detractor when they got in his car? What would he do then, right? Flip the motherfucker over on the side of the road in defense? I don't think so. It's just, it was too great a risk. It was never going to happen that way. Thank you, Paul Turner, or the 5.
Almost like autistic thought where, oh, it was that way, so therefore it's always that way. And therefore, 10-year plan, 10-year plan, 10-year plan, 10-year plan. So that's what's happened is ever since I brought this up with you guys 6 years ago and I revealed to you that I had this discussion with my mother, there's people who are hyper fixated on the fact that Darkside Phil said he made a 10-year plan with his mom to transition out of streaming and become a normal person again, basically with no internet presence. The opposite has happened. My internet presence has gotten better. I'm more profitable. Things are positive now. Things are much better now for me than they have been pretty much ever. So there's no way I would transition out of doing this. This is the most stable thing I've ever done.
There's no way that he would ever transition out of doing this. Just setting forth and making it known that getting a job is literally the last thing this guy will ever do. That is the worst case scenario for certain. Now, what the real question is to me is how doesn't he understand that things used to be good back in the day, right? He made a fuck ton of money, an insane amount of money to be specific. Very specific, by the way, insane. Things used to be good, and then they got to shit, and he was considering getting a half-time job or whatever, the part-time job or whatever the case may be, and then it gets good again. So how did he come to the conclusion that he will never have to think about a job again? Does he not understand that it could potentially get worse again? That he could be down financially once again like he was in the past? Does he not consider that this is a vicious cycle that he's going through once more, just on a far lesser scale? Well, of course not, because that would require any sort of, cognitive ability going on in his head, and he just doesn't have it. He literally does not think that far ahead. He is the person that thinks that right now is the only time that it exists, and everywhere else, whether it be the future or the past, is completely irrelevant, because right now we're pulling Hogan's. Right now we're getting Wendy's, and that's all that matters. but other people are obsessed and childlike because they think into the future and could see how this could be flipped on its head once again. Of course. Thank you, Caffee Latte for the 2, saying big ups Atlas and chat. Have a lovely day. Well, you have a lovely day yourself. Thank you so much for the 2. I really appreciate it.
And I'm not going to transition out of it. It would be dumb for me to do so because right there outside of my house, the job market has become way worse in 6 years. I would be worse off going out there now and having a life doing that than what I'm doing here.
But he doesn't have to live here. Like, let's be clear that DSP does not have to spend the exorbitant amount of money that he spends on a regular basis to live 30 minutes or whatever from Seattle. That does not have to be the case. I'm a firm believer that he would have been better off in the middle of fucking nowhere, Idaho or whatever, frequenting a diner where they know him and he's a regular and having a part-time job as a fucking mailman or something. I think that would have been the ideal scenario for him, and it could have been very positive. But he thought he was bigger than he was, and he has to live like this now. Thank you, NWO News, for the 2, saying, do you think that DSP has an inner monologue or NPC mode? That's a great question, because I think an inner monologue requires some sort of ability to think, but it would be hard for me to think that DSP has all of the shit opinions and all of the wrong takes all the time, and he doesn't think about them beforehand to make them as shit as possible. I genuinely think that all of his takes are handcrafted to be some of the worst things that's ever been said by a human being. So I'm going to have to go with that he does have an inner monologue. It's just one of the worst.
Do you see? But these people are so absolutely insane. Mania, hyper-focused, hyper-obsessed. They can't get off the fact that 6 years ago, I said I was going to do a 10-year plan to change my life. And well, you didn't do it. You fell through. You didn't. No, I didn't need to.
It's also the fact that he said this to his mom. Like, this was a plan that that he had coordinated with his mother and swore on or whatever, and they thought was both a good idea. I just feel like you should do the things that you say to your mom. I feel like maybe that's not too much to ask, but maybe it is for the guy.
Things got better. I worked so hard. I found a way to turn things around. I got through the hard times. Things are
Find a way to turn things around means begging, by the way.
good. Why would I quit? I'd be a fucking moron. But you don't get that because you're a miserable wretch who doesn't understand it.
That's me.
You can't accept the fact that I'm doing well and you're not. That's not on me. That's on the idiots of the internet who can't deal with reality. Okay?
If DSP is doing well, I would much rather be in the gutter. Real talk. Like, if this is the destination that is success, I'd rather be a massive failure. Simple as.
Okay.
Hey, good morning, Kanye.
Thank you, Infamous KS, for the 2, saying, I would not sleep at night owing my mom that much. Well, of course not. Of course not, because you're probably a normal human who respects his mom and appreciates the things that she's done for you and has a reasonable, relationship and connection with her. DSP has none of those things. So it's just a different scenario. Thank you, Infamous KS, for the 2.
And trust me, my parents are very happy with how things are going. Now when I speak with them and it's not, woe is me, doom and gloom, don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, don't know how I'm going to pay my taxes, things are falling apart, might lose everything. Now it's the complete polar opposite. I'm telling them about fun stuff my wife and I are doing, improvements to the home, good things that we're doing here for life.
What are the improvements to the home? What does that mean? Is he talking about the lighting? Is he talking about the soundproof foam in the back? Because his toilet's still broken. The shower still leaks. I don't know that he hasn't got an air conditioner, not a real one. He doesn't have central AC. So what do you mean home improvements?
What?
Oh, he's talking about the steering wheel. That makes sense, actually. The new microphone that he's got in the background is a real home improvement, actually. I agree. I suppose he did put that, or he had someone put that fan in. Yeah, the ceiling fan. There you go. That's about the only thing I can think of is the ceiling fan. Thank you, Sean Robert, for the 2, saying valedictorian planned for a job, not a career. Absolutely. Now that's big brain behavior. Thank you for pointing that out. Sean Robert for the 2. And Flow or Crash for the 5. Thank you so much. So does he have a retirement plan, or will he beg until he drops on stream? He's going to drop on stream. Absolutely, he's gonna die on stream. Is my best guess. He has no retirement plan. He has no savings whatsoever. It is literally day to day, and he will die on stream. And hopefully, fingers crossed, YouTube deletes his account for breaking TOS and dying on stream and showing a dead body. That is, boy, I hope that's the case so bad. Thank you, Flow or Crash, for the 5.
And they are happy. Ear to ear grinning.
Oh shit, bad luck pointing out new washing machine and dryer. You're right. I forgot about that. I forgot. Thank you so much. I don't want to discredit the guy. You're right. You're right.
How things have turned around for me and my family. So there is no, oh, well, you said 10-year plan. You're not doing it. No, I don't need to. Oh, okay, good, because you're doing better. But again, these people are retarded. People on the internet act like morons and think that, you know, because again, they don't want to believe that things are good for me. So they have to say dumb shit like, you're broke. I'm broke? You're an idiot. I'm not broke, you dunce. What makes you think that? I'm broke? You couldn't be further from the truth, but you're just so obsessed with me failing. You look at the DSP from 6 years ago,
right?
And you say that's the failure, right? Well, guess
yeah,
what?
You failed then, you failed now. Go ahead.
Times are changing. Things are going good. You are a loser.
Well, yeah, well, and infamous saying zero savings. How can you claim to not be broke when there's actively things in your house that you're not fixing? Having a broken toilet is absolutely indicative of having no fucking money. If you have a shower that does not work, it's because you don't have the money to fix it. And if you don't have the money to fix your basic appliances in your home, you are broke. And if you do have that money, then you're irresponsible and have no business being a homeowner, which might actually be worse than being broke, because things are expensive out here. And there are, costs that you can't take into consideration before they happen. But to claim to have money and not be broke while not fixing these things is actually a far worse scenario. This is a worse hole than just having no money. And also, very odd to me that he wants to get on the internet and claim to not be broke. I'm a firm believer that regardless of the amount of money that you have, you should always consider yourself broke. That's how you acquire more cash and make yourself go to work and do the longer hours and make these sacrifices so that you can have more things in the future, right? So you can plan for your family in the future, whatever the case may be. You should always consider yourself broke. It's probably just the healthiest way to be. When people say, hey, do you want to go do this or that? Fuck no, brother, I'm broke. It is that simple. And they don't ask any more questions. If they respect you, because they don't want to get into your finances. But it's fine. It's fine. Formerly Chuck, thank you so much for the 5, saying this behavior will be gone when Kino Casino comes back in July. God, I hope so. But we can have fun with it now. Thank you, formerly Chuck, for the 5. And Manolo Azul for the 3 months and the 60 skulls, saying, of course he's not broke. When was the last time he paid for anything that wasn't paid with donations? Every night on WWE Champions. I mean, those are still donations, but it's not the, pre-buy-in that he gets like the wheel or whatever. So there's that. And they use Snert for the 3 Australian dollars, the down under buck, saying he's not broke unless the dents are withholding. Of course, in which case he is broke and can't buy groceries or whatever. Again, always whatever the narrative needs in order to get more money. That's how it has to go.
Session has exposed your own shortcomings, and you're a fucking pathetic failure for obsessing about me when you could be improving your own life.
All right, sounds good, brother.
I wish I could video call my parents. Seriously. I wish I could, but
that
was the idea. When I moved out here, I had an iPad, and I told them that we were going to, like, FaceTime and stuff. After, like, 2 weeks, they couldn't figure it out. I'm serious. We did it, like, twice, and after 2 weeks, it's not working. What do you mean it's not working? I just moved. We've talked about this. We've went through it. We figured out we were going to do this every week. Oh, I don't know. And now we can't get it to work, so we're just going to have to do phone calls.
Well, there was probably like an update or something. And much like the guy, that's a completely foreign concept to them, and they didn't know what to do, so they just continued to never update. That sounds exactly like what DSP would do, so that's what I'm going to assume they were doing.
I tried. I tried my best, but,
Because it absolutely would have been very easy to just call them and walk them through the process if you genuinely thought that nothing was wrong and they were just being old ignorant, like old heads, right? That would have been a very simple thing to do. But instead of doing that, he's just said, fuck it, I didn't want to see my parents anyway. I'll just talk to them. And then they can't see the horrible, disrespectful faces I'm making while they tell me about their lives that I don't care about.
Princess Luna, how you doing? $10 super chat says the detractors can't believe you rose from the ashes like a true king. No, it's not. Here's what the thing. It's not that they can't believe it. It's that they refuse to accept it. That's the difference. The evidence is clear. Look at me today.
Okay, I'm looking.
Happy, healthier than ever, great setup, flexibility to do whatever I want, making great support every day, doing fun events, positivity, but they can't.
None of that was true. Literally, front to back, every single one of those things was actually a lie. I don't think I've seen anybody tell like 7 lies back to back. I want to hear the list again. What are we doing?
Great setup, accept it. That's
they
the
can't
difference.
accept this.
The evidence is clear.
Very clear. Look at this.
Today, happy,
not happy, legitimately upset and screaming at his audience regularly, calling them, telling them they're withholding, calling it frustrating, getting upset at the video games on a regular basis.
healthier than ever.
Literally looks like a ghoul. Looks like he hasn't seen the sun in ages. Actual skeletal figure with no muscle whatsoever.
Great setup.
Terrible setup that is completely incomprehensible, that is just far too much to look at on screen, completely irrelevant to the content at hand.
Flexibility to do whatever I want.
No flexibility whatsoever, actually threatening to rage quit or wage quit every single game playthrough if it doesn't make the allotted amount of money.
Making great support every day.
Actually missing the goal just about every other stream.
Doing fun events.
Literally some of the worst events I've seen the guy do in ages, so much so that we're going back to cleaning out the closet, which was only really popular with Detractors. I know he made a lot of money during it, but in hindsight, the overall legacy of the closet clean out is held up entirely by Detractors pointing and laughing at it.
Positivity, but they can't accept it.
And there's no positivity on these streams whatsoever. The amount of begging immediately cancels out any sort of positivity that could actually be had on the stream. So I'm glad we could cover all of those things point by point.
It's not that it's not apparent, it's not real. It's that they can't say, oh, yes, it's happening. It's undeniable. They can't. No, he's actually really broke. No, actually, this is happening. His wife has left him and all of this. These people are fucking crazy because they can't accept that I am doing good. They always thought that everything I was doing was wrong. How dare he have success? I thought he was doing everything wrong. No, stupid. I was toughing it out while you were sitting there wishing the worst upon people on the internet, but not doing anything to improve your own life situation. So now you're
And again, just a straw man argument that's based off of nothing assumptions. To assume that everybody that makes fun of you is doing literally only that and nothing else in real life is completely insane. You would have to be delusional in order to think that those people exist, don't get me wrong, but the sheer number of those people in comparison to normal quote unquote style individuals online it just doesn't work that way, and it never would. But that's the ideal detractor that DSP has built in his brain, for sure. Thank you, Adam Corona, for the 5. Saying, Phil, you cried in your office alone while throwing yourself a Minecraft birthday at 43 years old. Stop it. Get some help. And I couldn't agree more, dude. They're actually, when I was making that stupid meme song that I absolutely love, by the way, when I was making that, the picture of him at his 43rd birthday holding up Minecraft Legos with the little banner across the bottom was just one of the most pathetic things I think I've ever seen a grown man do. And I've seen a lot of pathetic things on the internet from grown men. So I think that's saying quite a bit.
life sucks because you wasted it away hating on me, and now my life is better. It's your fault. All you had to do was go do something for yourself, but you couldn't because you're a fucking miserable wretch stuck in your own head.
That's me.
We're now $58 raised towards our goal. We're going to now end the show and begin with blueprints. If we, like I said, hit one goal by the end of this stream, we are continuing to go on with blueprints until we beat it once a week. If we happen to get lucky and there's a double goal raised on this stream, then we will do DSP Tries It today. But that's a far cry. I mean, then again, I said this last week and we hit a double goal during blueprints. But I'm not saying that's going to happen every single time, okay?
Just fishing for the double goal, by the way.
All right.
That's what that is.
Folks, it is time to end the show. Thanks for hanging out with me yet again. This is the second week in a row I had a show with nothing going on. I was like, and nothing to really talk about. And it went full length because you guys had a bunch of topics. So
And by a bunch of topics, he means a bunch of people said things that he could yell and complain about. And that's the only reason that the show went on that long. I'm a big fan of the guy logging on and going live with nothing to talk about. No topics. He just decides that he's going to pick a fight, I guess, with people in the chat for a full stream. How cool is that, dude? How awesome. We're going to move on to the next clip, which, of course, big up Snort Hogan. Gonna tell you something, brother.
Snort, Hogan. Drip, snort. I got the drip.
well, someone tipped $5 and says,
Right.
and by the way, I'm going to skip some of what they said. All right, on
Is
purpose.
there a bitch?
And if they know what they said in their message, I hope they understand why I'm skipping it.
Hey,
But
good morning, Kanye.
thank you for $5.
Thank you, NWO News, for the $2, saying so predictable. He has a pull string on his ack. That's pretty funny, actually.
And they said, while you have some satire viewers, do you think your detractor circles are declining? Can you see them eventually dying out? What I think has happened is there's two distinct groups now when it comes to people on the internet
We've broken into factions as detractors, I suppose, where there's two distinct groups. Maybe they're even at odds. I don't even know.
Are negative towards me. One group is very much just not harmful whatsoever. They're here to laugh at me and my bad gameplay every once in a while, and they're the ones who are going on like X or TikTok or Reddit or wherever the hell the social media is, and they're making a post about me, right?
Yeah, Paul Turner. 3 paths, 2 groups, 10-year plan. Sound good?
And who cares? It's, gaming journalist sucks at Mario Kart. Okay, big deal. People
True.
have been making fun of my gameplay since I started on the internet. So
Yes.
who gives a shit about that, right?
You would think at some point he would try and be better at the video games if that was the case, but that's too much work for him, I guess. Shout out Conqueror of Iberia for the 14 months. That's a hell of a lot of months. Thank you so much. Saying 14, that is how many reps I am adding to my workout just to distance myself farther from becoming like Phil. Well, that's a great plan, actually. You guys should continue to work out and go to work and make money in order to flex on the guy. Just be better and never mention it.
Those people go for it. And, it all started with This Is How You Don't Play, 13 plus years ago? And now they don't even it's not even prominent anymore. Now it's basically people posting on social media that are getting all the attention, right? Because everything's now instantly digestible. Everyone wants a little.
It's people posting on social media that are now getting the attention when it comes to the detractors. Hasn't that always been the case? Isn't it almost impossible in order to get any sort of attention without posting to social media? That's such a nothing sentence.
Clip. No one even wants to see a 4-hour compilation video anymore. Everyone just wants to see the little joke and then move on to the next, right? It's the evolution of this kind of content. But the other side of it, the harmful side, are these insanely obsessed people who literally every day micromanage every word that I say, microanalyze every.
Okay, we're microanalyzing now, but we were micromanaging the words earlier.
Single thing that's done on the stream, turn everything into a negative, to do something defamatory or slanderous, to have content, which isn't content. It's literally non-tent.
Dude, I hate when this guy uses words he has no idea what they mean. Like, he hears people describe him one way and the content that he makes, and he decides to try and co-op it and make it something that it's not, and use it to describe other content that does not fit the description whatsoever. There's actual content being made. Whether you like it or not is entirely up to you. There's opinions being stated. They're not even fence-sitting opinions. They are fucking hard lines drawn in the sand on the guy. There's jokes being made. There's bits that are reoccurring depending on the streams that you watch. There's actual fucking layouts and sound bites. All of that is real when it comes to detractor streams. The guy literally sits in silence for about half of his airtime.
Good morning, Kanye.
That's the definition of non-tent. When there is literally nothing going on and you think that the video is paused, that's non-tent. But of course, it's the detractors who make that. Sounds good, dude. Thank you, Ramen Brahmin, for the 5, saying Dave was head of efficiency. He could figure, but he couldn't figure out a video call. I think a more funny idea is his parents didn't want to talk to him once a week. That's probably the case, or rather that they didn't want to see him. Because like somebody said earlier in the chat, a video call and a voice call are the same screen. They're just two separate buttons on the same screen. What do you mean it didn't work, Chief? But I can't blame them if they didn't want to see. I mean, look at that fucking mug. Do you want to see that every week? I guess you do because you're here. But if I was his parents, I'd be so ashamed I wouldn't.
Lies and bullshit for the sake of drama.
Exactly,
right?
Sister Anime.
But
Get
then
it,
they
Chief?
make this bad content that's a lie, and then millions of people who are dunces watch
That's me.
it, digest it, and think it's real. And then you get these crazy people who actually think that, like, oh, well, Phil's a horrible, horrible person because of the video so-and-so put out today, and he deserves nothing, and I wish death upon him and his family, and gee, what can I do today to make his life miserable? Can I troll in his chat? Can I charge him back? Can I harass this? Can I do that? Can I find someone who contributed and stalk them on the internet? What crazy thing can I do today? That's not cool. And sadly, and for as many
Well, it depends on how you describe cool, but
of the people who laugh at me and it's just kind of a funny joke and then they move on, sadly, the other group, the crazy obsessed weirdo group, has also increased, and that's bad.
so what is the time limit then? Right, of how much time are you allowed to allot to DSP in a time frame in order to not cross the threshold? Now, I know this is a very specific question that doesn't need answered and doesn't have an answer, but it's the kind of question that has to be raised once DSP lays out these kinds of situations, right? There is a line somewhere that he legitimately thinks that exists, from making fun of him in a satire way on a regular basis to being hyper obsessed or whatever. And I don't know, because I've never done any of those things that he's described. I don't look into his fans on my own volition. I don't, try and harass him in any way other than making these streams. I do none of those things. But I'm also not putting together short, digestible TikTok videos of his gaming fails. So where do I sit, DSP? It is very important to me, obviously.
I wish you could have just the one group rather than the other. I don't care about everyone making fun of me for my gameplay and shit on the internet. Who cares? I do care about people who actively want to hurt me and my family. All right? So, yeah, it sucks, but it's reality right now. Is it on the decline? No. Because what's happened is there's people who have made entire businesses out of it because YouTube allows it because I don't sue them. If I sued them, it would all come to an end. If I just
obviously
slap the ball with lawsuits, it would go away. But I'm not rich and I don't have the time to do that. So sadly, it continues because YouTube doesn't care.
You guys remember when he said the other day that he doesn't, that he doesn't wish any ill will on his detractors and the people that don't like him, and then went on to say that he would sue them into oblivion and that they would lose everything? This is just more confirmation that that is still the case, by the way. It's merely the lack of funds that makes him not go after detractors. That is the only hurdle in his way.
That's what it is. All right. Do I see them eventually dying out? No, because they're profitable. No one's going to stop doing what they're doing that's printing them money. It's that simple. They're going to keep doing it forever until I decide to hang it up. The day that I decide to retire, they'll be crying because they'll have no more content. All right. But
my God,
until then, they're going to keep doing it because they're making money doing it.
I feel like I say this all the time. The day the DSP stops making content is the best. Like that's the ultimate win, right? The day the DSP gives up and we can all move on and stop gawking and go look at something else. That's the win, right? He claims that's what people want. That's what the detractors want. They want death on his family and they want the absolute worst for him. Well, wouldn't worst case scenario be he quits making content? He would be destitute and broke and have to go get a job. But all of the detractors would be crying. Right.
This person says, these people don't have anything to show for the last 10 years. Well, to some extent, you're right. Like the sons of Kojima have diddly dick. They got nothing.
They don't even exist, so sure.
Have monetized YouTube.
Guys, the Ottoman Empire has nothing left. Bunch of fucking bozos, if you ask me. Yo, shout out Smitty Weberman Jansen for the 2, saying Wings has a better chance of suing trolls than DSP. Well, Wings also has far worse trolls than DSP, but you would never get DSP to admit that. He genuinely thinks that he has like the a bottom of the barrel scum of the earth detractors, but he doesn't even know the half of it.
2 channels of hate. Yeah, they have something to show for it. And that's fucked up. Like, that shouldn't exist. Or at least if it does exist, I should have a piece of that fucking pie since they're doing it on my expense, right? Anyway, this person says, long live the king. Yeah, I don't dwell on the nonsense. I'm not here to care about it. I just want to chill with you guys and have fun today. All right?
And it sounds
No,
like that's exactly what we're doing and what we've been doing the whole time. We don't entertain the nonsense, except for the 30-minute clip that we just watched and the additional 30-minute clips that we still have yet to watch from this very week.
Well, that is true, but it's not completely true. When it comes to content, the only way that you're allowed to rebroadcast someone else's content is if you're adding commentary, criticism, and you're making it a transformative work.
Oh, like this right now.
Someone who's
All right,
live
I'm in the safe.
broadcasting me literally right now.
I'm in the safe. Somebody unlock it, I guess. It's dark in here?
You can't do that. It's impossible. I'm giving the original work right now. You have absolutely no time to make it a transformative work. Even if you're talking over the live broadcast right now, you're still not making it a transformative work. You can't live rebroadcast something. That's not allowed, period. The only way you can live rebroadcast something is if they've given explicit permission for you to do so. For example, the Game Awards outright say, we give explicit permission. You can sign up, you can rebroadcast, right? You cannot do that with anything else unless you have permission, period. That's why when a TV show is live on TV, you can't just rebroadcast it and talk over it. You can't rebroadcast a movie and talk over it. It doesn't happen. Can you review those things? Yes. You can selectively take clips out of them to add commentary and criticism. That's a review. That's allowed. You can't rebroadcast an entire show in its entirety so that you have an alternative way to digest that content, and the original broadcaster cannot get opportunity to get watched on their own medium. It's illegal. It does.
But I'm not gonna lawyer cite Atlas here. That's not my business. I'm not a fucking TOS enjoyer. I don't care about any of that. But just off of his own argument that he's just made, I don't understand how he doesn't have an opportunity to make the money on his own stream. He's live at the same time. If anybody wanted to give DSP money to give him the view, they absolutely could. They're not taking that away from him. That is still absolutely an option. And it's always transformative content in the form of chat, in the form of commentary, in the form of this, that, and the other. So I just don't understand the argument here. But once again, I'm not lawyer side Atlas. I don't actually give that much of a fuck. And I don't think that it should have to come down to that anyway. He should just quit being a bitch and understand that people are going to make fun of him, and he should worry about his own business.
Does it matter how anyone spins it? In the rule of law, it does.
And the absurd saying restreamers can just delay it for a few seconds. Well, most restreamers pause, like I'm doing right now, and they pause and they develop, they build their skip juice, and they're like 20 to 30 minutes behind oftentimes. So like, is that enough? Does that defeat his entire argument as he's laid it out? I believe so. But whatever, man.
Doesn't fly.
It's such a waste of time and not important to his audience.
Every single person who is live rebroadcasting anything I do, including right now, is violently breaking the law, like explicitly outright showing disregard for the law. There is no established law or precedent that says it's okay. It's 100% wrong. They know that they're breaking the law, and they're only getting away with it because no one's suing them. It's that simple.
Violently breaking the law is kind of crazy, though.
Because I should have the opportunity to at least broadcast my content first, get original views, make money on it first. Then everyone else has fair game to jump in and say, oh, now we're going to tear it apart.
But that is the case. Even if you restream him live, as long as you're not actually literally live, that is the case. As well as, like I said, most people add commentary, and if you're a DSP fan, if you were ever going to actually watch the guy, you would not be able to stomach the commentary that accompanies other restreamers. So it's not a lost view by any means, not an iota. Thank you, Decompressing Melancholy, for the 5 New Zealand dollars, saying Hulk Hogan has our backs, brother. He took all Dave's money, so he cannot sue us. Well, thank fucking God for Hulk Hogan, I guess. I never thought I'd give a big ups to the blonde Hulkamaniac himself, but I guess I have to if that's the case. My humble abode thanks him as well, as I won't have that taken from me.
We're going to commentate over it. Now we're going to do... They're not doing that. They're circumventing the original first. You can't go to a pay-per-view UFC fight and rebroadcast it live and comment over it while it's going on. That's illegal. It's the same thing with my streams. You cannot do it. You are outright breaking the law. 100%.
But they do, which means you can. It's not should you, it's not as legally allowed. He's simply saying you can and can't. They do, so they can.
And I don't give any permission to do that.
Not to be
like
a grammatical style teacher or anything, but
after the fact, do commentary, make fun of me, whatever, that's different. Outright stealing my content is always going to be illegal. You can't do it.
Sure.
So any channel out there
Whatever.
that just copy pastes with no commentary and nothing, that's illegal. Any channel that rebroadcasts my live streams right now, that's illegal. And those
Right.
channels
Shout out ALT, of course.
need to go away. It's just a matter of time.
He's got to go. Send the old man out to pasture, I suppose. Take him out back and...
Has nothing to do with the trademark. That's ludicrous. Whoever said that is a moron. Has nothing to do with the trademark. It has to do with copyright. Whenever you upload a video or live broadcast a stream on YouTube, you already get granted a blanket copyright.
So my question then is, why did H3H3 specifically go and file copyright for his video separately from uploading it to YouTube? If that was the case, and again, I don't know, because it doesn't fucking matter to me none. But if that's the case, why did he go and do it separately? It just sounds fake. It sounds like this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Why would there be a separate process if everybody could just upload anything and it be copyright? I don't...
Content. And as for, he says, how much Wendy's are you getting for Kat and Jasper? None. Kat is not ordering Wendy. She doesn't want it. And Jasper doesn't eat fast food. He eats cat food.
No way.
Okay. So thanks for the tip.
Whoa. Oh, there's a shout out for Store Hogan.
Super chat. You have more or less trolls than in your early years. Well, if you mean early years, so we're talking way early on, like 2008 through, let's say 2012, the first 4 years. The first 4 years, I had very few trolls. There were a few, but they were weirdos, like DSP cult leader and weirdo shit like that. No one really took them seriously. Everyone laughed at them. They were like a...
Why is he assuming the DSP cult leader is a weirdo? Now, I don't remember DSP cult leader specifically. I'm not familiar with DSP cult leader like videos. Was there commentary? Do we actually know who this person was, or was this just edits of DSP?
Fringe thing. When This Is How You Don't Play began, that's when the dedicated troll following started, and that's when it started to exponentially increase.
Nothing, no commentary, just edited footage. And how do we know this guy's a weirdo? Any weirder than anybody making a This Is How You Don't Play or one of those edits on fucking TikTok short form style? Like, again, we're just making claims with no evidence, nothing to back it up, just assuming.
As of now, see, here's the thing, is when you say, do we have more or less trolls? Depends on what you mean by troll. I don't think that people who are laughing at me on social media are my trolls. They're just normal people laughing at a meme, as opposed to these dedicated weirdos, you know? Like, right now, there's a lot of dedicated weirdos, but the reason they're doing it is money.
That's me, right? Oh, I guess.
I don't know. By the way, I'm not a bean counter. I don't see...
That was not an admission. I just think that he's talking about me, but that
counting
is
every single
not the case.
weirdo out there saying, you know, oh, this guy's doing this, this guy's doing this, this guy's doing this, this guy took this from me, this guy stole this. I don't do that. I just broadcast every day and make content. I don't even know who's out there right
Except
now.
He's clicking, or he's clicking.
No, let's not be stupid.
He's ranting about it right now. What do you mean you don't fucking take note and say this, that, and the other? That's what you're doing right fucking now.
I'm tired of people being dumb. People talking shit and being like, oh, Phil just doesn't want to drive to get his food.
That's
I'm
true.
on a stream talking and entertaining with you. Do you want me to go on a 40-minute break during the stream to
Why would
go
it
in
be
my
40
car,
minutes?
drive, pick up the food, come back? I have done that, and people hated it.
Why would it be 40 minutes? He literally said in the clip that we just watched the day prior, it would be 15 minutes. He could go and get it if necessary. What are we talking about now?
Actually did that years and years ago when we were doing DSP Tries It live during streams, and people absolutely hated it. They were like, no, we don't want that. We want you to have it right away. And that's when I started ordering.
Yeah, that's what they said. We want you to have it right away, DSP. We don't want you to have to wait and go outside and experience like real life or other people or the sun. We want you to have it right now. Of course, it was about him and not about their actual entertainment.
So that would show up
and their inability to wait for more garbage content.
It doesn't interrupt the content of the stream. Like, think about how dumb what you're saying is. Firehouse subs is 30 minutes each way. So you want me to stop this stream to get a Firehouse sub, drive 30 minutes back. So you're sitting here for 90 minutes with your thumb up your butt watching highlight clips. That's
DSP knows his audience.
what you want on the stream. What a dumb thing to say. I could start the podcast with DSP Tries It. You want me to eat a Firehouse sub at 11 in the morning for breakfast as DSP Tries It, and then you want me to do a stream after.
Brother, 11 a.m. breakfast? What? And this just goes to show you the type of lifestyle, like the life of luxury the DSP lives, that 11 a.m. is the morning and he's willing to call a meal at that time breakfast. Come on, man. The day's half fucking over. What do you mean breakfast? What do you mean in the morning? That's like that's a midday. It just, like I said, it just goes to show you when he wakes up, the type of like a lack of, I don't even know the best way to put it. Like, he has nothing else to do. There's no urgency in his life that he still thinks that 11 a.m. is morning breakfast time, you know? Yes, I do sound like a fucking dad. Well, when you wake up at 4 a.m. like an actual fucking dad, like, that's the way that it has to be, you know? I don't think that's just dad behavior. That's working real job behavior, I guess.
Not even open that early, by the way.
Yeah, that's second breakfast. That's first lunch even. I'm a two lunch enjoyer myself.
I wouldn't even be able to get it.
Yeah, and lunch menus start at 10:30. That's a great point, J-Mix. Absolutely.
I got a $2 tip.
Like, Dairy Queen opens at 11 in my area. Some of them open at 10:30 because they don't have a lunch, or they don't have a breakfast menu. They start at lunch at 10:30, at 11 o'clock.
It's an idiot. I'm just going to ignore them because they're a complete dunce. Okay. Someone is arguing that someone live broadcasting my stream right now, stealing my content, making money on it before I have a chance to make any money on it and get actual views on it.
You are making money off of it. You are getting actual views on it by being live. What is this argument? I don't understand.
It's exactly
yeah, and it is ALT. Of course it is.
The same as me playing Death Stranding 2 on a stream that I'm stealing from Hideo Kojima. Despite the fact that I have to buy the fucking game to play it on stream, meaning Kojima has already received financial compensation for said game. I paid for the license to play the game. Oh yeah, I'm also adding my own gameplay, commentary, and all of that to create a transformative work of art called a playthrough. This has all been pre-established. You're an idiot.
But he uploads his content for free online, right? And then people do the commentary over it afterwards. So it's kind of like the licensing fee to watch videos on YouTube is pay your internet bill, and then you do the commentary. Sound good? Sounds good to me.
Okay. But the difference is,
yes, playing games has always been a work of art. Have you not seen This Is How You Don't Play? Do you not think that how awful he is at the games is in and of itself a piece of art because nobody else could do it quite like that? I believe so. Obviously, I'm a huge believer in the art that is DSP's space gaming.
If let's say a video game, you've already paid for it. Now, if you stole the video game, that's different. If you actually I robbed this video game, I downloaded it off the internet and stole it from a Whereas site or something, right? That's different. That's not good at all. That's awful. Okay. But if you bought the game, that person, that group, whatever, has received financial compensation for you to then use that game to do creative works with it. So in that regard, that's the coverage. No one has paid me to use my stream at all. The agreement that we have is that
you guys are saying Whereas. Where did he say that?
I broadcast my content for free on the
I'll go back. I wasn't listening hard enough.
From a Whereas site or something, right? That's different.
I'm glad I found it instantly. I don't know what the fuck that is. I guess I just skipped past it. My brain said, fuck it. I don't know.
That's not good at all. That's awful. Okay. But if you bought the game,
yeah, shout out Call of Whereas.
Whatever has received financial compensation for you to then use that game to do creative works with it. So in that regard, that's the coverage. No one has paid me to use my stream at all. The agreement that we have is that I live broadcast my content for free on the internet, but then I receive views, ad revenue, and other compensation.
Right.
I do not give anyone permission to actively steal and rebroadcast my content in its entirety like they're doing right now, providing an alternate means for someone to watch, and I get nothing from it. I do not provide that consent whatsoever. I actually completely condone it. I do not condone, I completely condemn it is what I meant to say. I completely
condone it. Just take that out of context. Sorry, DSP. I didn't hear the rest of the clip. I just heard you say you condone it, and I moved on.
Damn it. I don't agree with it at all. It shouldn't happen. It's messed up. And the
All
funny
right.
another thing is people are like, well, are you going to sue? I retain the legal right
Oh,
at some point, at any point in the future, to sue said people for breaking the law and stealing my content. I could do it at any moment. I could do it right now. I could do it 5 minutes from now. I could do it a day from now. I could do it a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. It's my
he cannot do it 5 to 10 years from now. I believe there is absolutely a statute of limitations on that, and it's 3 years from what I read somewhere yesterday. So 5 to 10 years is, it's not even true.
my prerogative. That's how it works. When you commit a crime against me, I can choose whether or not to execute my right to sue the shit out of you and take all of the money that you made. And then some for damages, because I also should have made additional money when I originally broadcast it. And all those views you're getting right now are my views. Get it?
Oh,
So not only am I going to get
so you guys are all DSP's views right now. This is why this stream is titled what it's titled, and why the thumbnail is what it is, because all of the views, all of the money obviously should be going to the one and rightful king, DSP, and everybody else is a damn dirty scamming thief that should be in the stocks, I guess.
all the money you made, I'm also going to take you to the fucking town and take your house and everything else too. It's all going to be mine.
He's gonna take you to the town? Not take you to the cleaners. He's gonna take you to the town, I guess, so that he could take your house. You got to go into town in order to take the house. Maybe that's what he was trying to get to. I'm not sure. It was kind of silly.
Whenever I feel like it.
I love
I
getting
have that
taken to town
Get
though.
it?
I mean,
So let it be
We can,
known,
like,
you
get a
keep committing
bite?
crimes against me,
see a show.
you know, see what's going to happen in the future. All it's going to be, it's going to take one asshole to piss me off. Let's put it that way.
So which asshole is it though? Because I've seen him ranting and angry and thrashing about duty streams, about raw fill, about the Kino Casino, like all of these people that detract on DSP. I've seen these rants and these rage out moments, and yet he's done nothing. He genuinely believes that he has a case, and yet he's looking for the one person that'll finally piss him off. What does that even look like then? Because I've seen the guy literally fucking cry on stream about detractors before. So at what point are we finally going to get to wit's end? Where's the line? What is the straw that breaks the camel's back on this? I would have thought that if they made you cry, maybe that would have been the line. But I guess making him cry is totally within, understandable situation.
Right now, I like what I'm doing. I like streaming. I like making content. I'm having a good time doing it. And I'm profitable. Things are good. You understand? Like, everything's great right now. It doesn't even make sense for me to go down that route. All right? But at any moment, things could change, and I could change my mind. And I have the legal right to do that.
Sure,
100%.
whatever.
So let it be known. Let the statement be made. You commit a crime against Darkside Phil. Darkside Phil at one day may clap back and actually execute his right to get what's his.
So write this down. If you wrong DSP, maybe one day, potentially, possibly, DSP could maybe, possibly do something about it. Make sure that you write that down. It's very important that something that has a 1% chance be remembered.
So you're dancing on a very dangerous line there. You are.
Super
You're really,
dangerous, I agree.
You're playing with fire. And by the way, don't listen to any of their bullshit already. This idiot LARPing over here. Are you fearful of providing discovery? Are you retarded? Are you retarded? Can you answer that question for me? Why?
If I answer yes, is the answer yes? Because I'm more than willing to admit my own, my own cognitive decline. More than willing, actually.
are you listening to anything that they're saying? Why would you even entertain?
They're putting me in the back of the bus and call me a
They
sped.
have no
I'm ready
fucking
to
idea
go.
what any of them are talking about. None of them. They all
ALT
act like they're
insulting
smart.
me
They're
in
all
chat.
the
Come
dumbest
on
fucking
now.
people on this planet. They don't understand how the law works. They don't understand how the court case would go. They're all fucking morons.
mean to do
Every
that.
single one of them. They all talk out of their asses constantly, but they act like they know something, and you're ignorant and you believe them, and you think that they're smart. They're not. Unreal. I'm a former cop, and
If you guys think that I'm smart, I have bad news for you. Don't stop thinking that immediately. That is not the case. It is what it is. I'm not ashamed about that at all. I really don't want anybody to get the wrong impression. If you think that's me, you're wrong. Now let's I guess do the shit on bro side Phil
I
segment.
don't like DSP, so I know all this stuff about cops. Oh, by the way, I actually gave money to Super Crazy to sue you. So you're a fucking idiot. Doesn't even matter if you're a former cop. You're actually one of the dumbest motherfuckers on earth.
Got
You
him.
gave money to a guy who's an internet troll, whose name is super crazy, who had no legal basis to sue me, to try to sue me.
What does his name like? And this is the main bit that always gets me when he does this against Broside. He always points out, you gave money to a guy named Super Crazy. Okay. Like, let's not pretend like we don't all watch a bunch of people on the internet that have absolutely, you know, fucking stupid names, right? You could follow a guy online called Psychopathic Killer 98 and he could make some of the best content ever, and you could give him money for a project. That doesn't make you inherently stupid. Like the name is actually the dumbest argument that he's got. But it was silly to give money to Super Crazy. That did go without saying.
You're actually the dumbest motherfucker I know. Anything you could actually say in life has been negated by your incredible stupidity and actions. No one should ever listen to you. But that's the thing. These people.
So then the same thing goes for DSP though. That goes without saying. That if that's the standard DSP is going to set forth, and we're gonna you know act accordingly to that, then everything DSP says from basically the beginning of his content career to the end is completely irrelevant, and nobody should listen to it because he's made more than enough dumb mistakes himself. So I guess I'm glad we could get that out of the way and confirm that he's a waste of time. Thank you, Khalifa Al-Balushi, for the $36.99 AED. That's the defibrillator unit, I believe. This guy's wife was called fat in his face and said absolutely nothing, and he is still waiting for someone to piss him off. Got it, Chief. Well, as long as we're all on the same page, yeah, I agree. That's a great point. Maybe if Duty would have called her fat to his face, maybe then he would have started the lawsuits. But because it was his best friend at the time, PPP, I call him Triple P, because it was him, it was totally kosher and very cool. Thank you, Skirt Cobain, for the 2 Canadian, not real dollars, but I appreciate the sentiment, saying DSP sues, also DSP, exposes tax fraud during court. Yeah, I don't think that he understands what discovery means, and there's a reason that he glanced over it as quickly as he did and moved on to talking about Broside Phil instead. I don't think that he knows what discovery is or the extent at which that can go, but we have to move on positively, dude. There's so much to talk about. Penitent Sin with the 15 months saying he did specify recently that Dab Hands was not the dense name, so maybe Dave believes usernames are Detractor's government names. I would love to see him file Atlas the Bookkeeper into the government system. Good luck with that one. Fun fact, my name is not actually Atlas. I know this might come as a surprise. My parents are not like ancient Greek or Roman. They didn't think that Atlas was an ideal name for me. They actually went with something else. Sorry to disappoint.
They actually get dumbass people on the internet to listen to them. And these people are so dumb that they're gullible morons. Big Boss, $5 super chat. It was great seeing you branch out and collaborate with other creators. Are there any future plans for more? People, I keep trying to explain this to people. They don't listen, right?
Yeah, my fiance's name is Atlas, though, 100%. That's a real first name, of course.
Real people who would ever want to collaborate with me would be people who already are in this like online harassment drama circle nonsense. Why? Because everyone knows that if you associate with Darkside Phil, that you're going to get harassed, you're going to end up on Kiwi farms, you're going to get fucked with, right? Everyone knows that. And it's fucked up because it's not my fault. I have nothing to do with it, but it just happens, right? So anyone in their right mind, it's not that they don't want to talk to me. I've actually had some really nice conversations behind the scenes with creators and with other people who would like, yeah, in another world, if things were different, we absolutely would collab with you and do all kinds of content. But we can't.
They said it just like that?
We're now enemy target number 1 just because we did something positive with you.
And this really is just the easiest, most blanket excuse possible to get out of doing something you never wanted to do. Like not working with DSP has a built-in excuse every single time that everybody uses. It's I promise you, it's not that they don't want the ire of the internet. I mean, they don't, but that's not their first thought. Their first thought is, what the fuck would we even do? what content would we make? What would we even talk about? We have nothing in common. This guy doesn't go outside. He doesn't know how to have a social interaction with any other content creator. He basically isn't even in the same field because his content is so fucking dumb. It's not even on the same level of other popular streamers. What could have been made that would have been entertaining? And it's nothing.
So why do you think
The only people that are willing to put up with DSP when it comes to making content together are people who are actively plotting against him, like the Kino Casino, or people who are so down bad and desperate for retention, like Ethan Ralph or Toothy or what was that other fella's Gahul. Those are the types that are willing to put up with DSP. Those are the people who care so little about what they're doing that they would collab with him. Other than that, what would even be the point?
To sit here and just do content by myself all the time, right? This is why. There's nothing that I can do about it because these people are weirdo fucks. So I just sit here and I do my own stuff and I don't bother anyone. And
this is confirmation that detracting on DSP does absolutely sequester him and isolate him from the rest of the internet and determine his content. So I guess you should keep doing that if that's the way that you prefer to see DSP, which it is for me, by the way. I prefer to see him isolated, but it's just confirmation that it's all working and you do dictate the content.
You know,
very good thing to do.
There's been actually quite a few opportunities where I reached out to a few people and I had nice conversations about that. And, you know, we had ideas of things you could do, but they're like, yeah, ultimately we're not going to do it because at any given moment, you know, these crazy obsessed weirdos on the internet might come after us or our content or our channel or our, you know what I mean? And I get that. 1,000,000% I understand that. I don't wish upon anyone the harassment that I've gotten, getting fully doxxed, getting family members and friends doxxed. And
why would you wish that on somebody? That seems like
you know, being hacked into and
went without saying.
You know, impersonating me and socially engineering accounts and fucked up stuff. Can you imagine that?
And he says that he doesn't want any of that to happen, but he's explicitly stated before that he would like an in-depth YouTube documentary style akin to June the King, in which they go into detractors and figure out who these people are and what they do, like in their free time or like on other sites or whatever. Like, he's explicitly asked for this. So everything that he just said is just, it's a lie. Surprise, surprise, he lied.
Right?
Thank you, Sean Robert, for the 2, saying DSP would fake his mother's death to back out. I believe that. I absolutely believe that. He's used Cat's health as an excuse. He's used the death of his bunny as an excuse. There's no excuse DSP wouldn't use.
So
every tragedy is free money,
it's
man.
Like, well, I guess I can't really do anything. The only content that I could be able to collab with is people who are already so fucked with that it doesn't matter, but they're all in drama circles and shit, right? No one, that's what I mean. Like, it sucks. Like, what could I collab on? I can't legitimately collab gameplay with anyone because the moment that I do, those people get harassed. So no one who runs a legit gameplay channel or anything like that is ever going to want to cross over with DSP because they're going to get the short end of the stick in that one. You know what I'm saying? All any people ever want, oh, let's do drama content. I'm not doing drama content.
Except for when he did drama content.
I never did. It's a waste of everyone's fucking time.
He never did, but he did it anyway.
It really is the lowest common denominator for the dumbest people on the planet. I'm not doing drama
That's
content.
you.
All right? So outside of that, you know, that's it. So that's all that can really be done, you know? So I hope you understand that. Big boss, you know? I've actually had people who I reached out to and we had great conversations, but no one's going to do it.
Great point, Method. This right now is drama content. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I always love his hatred for drama content when people bickering back and forth and arguing and getting into heated interactions. Like the draw to that, the insistence on watching that is really, really natural for human beings. Like, you, even in public, when people start getting loud and getting into altercations, a lot of people can't help but look. And it's not because they're the lowest common denominator. I think it has to do with more that it's just a sight to behold. Most people are civilized, and it's very few and far between in which people actually get to rage out and say the things that they want to say. So watching somebody do that, even if it's like DSP, it's entertainment. It's entertainment you don't even have to look away from because nobody can see you gawking. And that's one way to look at it. It doesn't have to be that way, but yeah, drama has literally been around since the Greeks and Romans. Absolutely, it's so inherent to people. Thank you, Redbird, for the 2, saying Kino Casino so broke this guy he might never quit. I don't think he ever had an option to begin with. I think that was regardless of Kino Casino, but they definitely didn't help. They sent him down a path we might never recover from.
That some sicko fuck on the internet is now going to harass them and their family and everything associated with them and their business because they did a video with me, you know?
I got the drip go. I got the
There you
drip
go. That was the end of that clip. We've got 2 more, and the divorce line is ever approaching. We have to move forward.
Well, let me tell you
something, brother.
Snort,
Snort.
Go, you drip. Snort. I got the drip go.
A white hot fresh new release. Well, not really, because once again they've pulled the first of all, the selected golden few who get advanced copies got them.
Oh, for context, we're talking about Death Stranding 2. Thursday was the day that it officially came out, I think. I want to say. That's what my memory serves. And of course, people were playing it early because they got the review copies, or they pre-ordered it, or paid for the Ultimate Edition, or whatever the fucking case is. You know how modern gaming is. And he's seething.
On Monday, and they played
That's
it
the
on
context.
Monday, so everyone saw the game already. Then if you've spent a ton of extra money for the extra special digital deluxe edition, then you got to play it on Tuesday, so everyone already saw the game as of Tuesday. But if you're a plebeian, if you're one of these unfortunate few who's only going to buy the regular edition of the game, who does that anymore? You have to wait until Thursday. So I'm technically of the 3rd wave of people playing Death Stranding 2, so I'm not going to get any really of that day 1 hype or views, which I honestly don't care about because I don't think that it was going to be big for this game anyway, to be
He doesn't care about it, but he made sure to talk about it explicitly on his pre-stream. Because everybody talks about things that they don't care about constantly, right?
frank with everyone.
That checks
I think
out.
that there may be an audience for it, but I don't know how big the audience will be. I can tell you when I played Death Stranding 1, within 3 streams, people were bored to tears and were telling me to stop playing the game, but I actually went through the entire thing, despite the fact people told me to stop, because I really liked the story.
So he continued to play the game despite it not being entertaining to his audience and actively losing viewers and boring the people that are paying his bills. Does that sound like a good sound business strategy?
So we're going to see how this goes.
Like he says it like it's a flex, but it's just more confirmation that he doesn't actually like seek to entertain on a regular basis and instead just expects to play video games indefinitely and receive money for it.
And I've already told you guys up front. I'll say it again. I'm not committing to a full playthrough of this game simply because I'm going to play games that work. I'm not going to force myself to play the entirety of this game if it ain't going to work. And I don't know if it's going to work, to be honest. It may work, it may not. We'll find out together.
So wait, hang on, wait, let me get this straight. So it was a good idea to continue to play the game, not get the money, have people bitching in your chat and not showing up to the streams because they didn't want to see the game. But now, in the year 2025, now it's a good idea when it doesn't hit the goal and people complain that they don't want to see it. Now it's a good time to quit? What changed? What different mentality have we adopted? Because as far as I've seen, the content is almost, exactly identical.
I'm happy to give it a shot. I'll give it a try.
So was he a bad businessman then or now? I guess is the real question at the heart of it.
But I don't want to 100% be like, oh yeah, we're doing the whole thing, guys. And then people get pissed at me. And they're like, oh, well, you said you were playing it. Well, I said I was trying it. I don't know if this is going to be a full playthrough or not. Quite honestly, I don't know if people will like it as much. I hope we do. I'd be more than happy to play the whole thing if we like it. But these days, you just never know. And especially a game like Death Stranding 1, where most of the game was walking around and being bored with delivery of packages. Like, I don't even know what the hell he was thinking there besides he's just nuts. You know what I mean? Like, it's insane. The choice that he made with the first game, like, what?
And I just don't think that that's the case. And it's weird to me that that's DSP's perspective on the game. It's weird to me that he didn't see the enjoyment and fun that could be had from traversing the land and picking which paths to take and not take based off of the packages that he was carrying or the already worn in trails or whatever the case was in the game. It's weird to me that he didn't find fun in that, but he did find a bunch of fun sitting around for 40 minutes waiting for a puzzle to be explained to him and wait for the solution. while doing nothing. Like that's a more fun game experience to him than legitimately
Good morning,
traversing
Kanye.
your character through what is essentially a real world obstacle course with changing parameters. I don't see how you could see one is fun and the other not. Urban Style Individual with the two, thank you so much, saying the burden of entertainment is always on the game. Well, of course, that's the game's job. DSP's job is to play it, I guess. That's it.
The heck, man. There we go. I was trying, well, still not right. I was messing with my lights on my mic, but I'll just leave them as is at this point.
Thank God, because it doesn't fucking matter.
So
We
says, if
can't
you
see
bought
'em.
early access before, what's the big deal? Well, again, if I buy early access for a game, it's typically for a good reason. Okay. Sometimes it's because time constraints. Like, I know if I play a game earlier, it'll give us more of a chance to play more of it before something else is happening. Or it's something I'm incredibly hyped for and I'm legit want to play it earlier if I can.
So he legitimately
But
falls
most
for
of the
the
time when we've done early access,
FOMO.
it's just bit me in the butt anyway. You know, if you think like Starfield, yeah, that was really worth it, wasn't it? Like, basically, at the time everyone was normally playing the game, people who had early access were already quitting. It was that fast of a transition, you know?
Still paid for it. Still fell for the gimmick, though.
I just don't see the point unless
Still
there's a
gave
real
up the additional
concrete
money
reason to do it. In this case, we needed to finish both Lies of P and Onimusha 2 before we jumped into a new playthrough. So it just made sense to do this today and beat the other games first, or else we would have had these other lingering.
And you're right, Evil Dave. He just bought the deluxe of Doom when he said that it looked bad and it was free on Game Pass, just so that he could play it 2 days early. And it was an additional $30 rather than 10. He spent how long saying that he wasn't? Literally, the reveal trailer of Doom the Dark Ages, we watched with him live during one of those totally illegal restreams, you guys. And he instantly said he was not excited for it, didn't care for the previous Doom, and would not be playing the game. Yet he paid $30 additional on top of the Game Pass fee he already paid so that he could play it and be terrible at it and still complain the whole time. Make that make sense.
Playthroughs that were unfinished. Mozzie, how are you this morning? Good to see you. Adam says he's going to pick up the game in a few hours, so he won't be here for the gameplay. It's all good. Chill with me
That's
for like a half
great.
an hour, take
Get
off,
the
and
fuck
noon.
out then.
That's fine. Dr. Jedi says it was good enough to make a sequel. He must know what he's doing. The thing is, he knows what he's doing, okay? He has name recognition. Kojima can pull this off. Other people couldn't. If other people tried to do a game like Death Stranding, it probably wouldn't work. You know, people complaining like crazy. But in this case, because it's Kojima, he has that name recognition. One of the biggest devs, most notable devs in the history, right? It's kind of like Miyamoto, Kojima. You can think of the big names, right? So because of that, he can do it, you know, and good on him. Because like I said, I think he told one of the best stories in gaming I'd ever experienced in the first game. But man, the gameplay sucked. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. The gameplay, every time you had to deliver a pack.
See, and this, I just think that this is a viewpoint into DSP's mentality. And there's people out there that are absolutely going to play the game and suck it off just because it's Kojima, just like they do with other video game directors or whatever. But to say that he's only getting away with it because he's Kojima is to, I believe, discredit the actual work and foresight that Kojima has when it comes to making this game. He managed to tell one of the most interesting stories that DSP's ever played or whatever, despite not enjoying the gameplay and enthralling him so much that he finished the game despite not having money. I don't think that Jesus Christ, get it out. I don't think that that would have been the case simply because it's Kojima. He very clearly knows something, has some sort of experience, some sort of understanding of the product that he's making that goes beyond just name recognition. There's a reason people play the game, and I don't think that for the majority, it's simply because there's a name on the box. That's so fucking silly. And like I said, just goes to show you, like, DSP is all about name recognition. It's about the brand. It's about the way that the optics are from the outside and how big you are. And it doesn't have to be that. And I think for a lot of people, it's not.
It was dirt boring.
They can just identify a game they enjoy.
There was some gunplay, it was all right. There was some sneaking gameplay, and sometimes it was good, and sometimes it was tedious. It depended. But every time you had to deliver something, it was like, wow, now I have to waste an hour of my life doing this to get to the next story portion that I'm very excited for.
And even if you don't enjoy the gameplay of Death Stranding, which walking for a lot of people isn't going to be what they want to do, it's so interesting to me that DSP doesn't even ever really talk about the mechanics that were actually at play in Death Stranding, with the trails that become more relevant as more people walk over them, or the social aspects of literally building roads and recharge stations. He doesn't talk about any of that. He doesn't talk about the dynamic weather that changes the environments that you're walking through. He doesn't talk about how you can utilize the equipment that you have to weigh yourself differently and make the game harder or easier to traverse through certain areas. None of that. It's always just, oh, I had to play the game for an additional hour to play the story. It's just so short-sighted and shallow, and I think that's why he didn't enjoy the game, because he can't enjoy a game on a deeper level than that. The mechanics to DSP don't actually matter. Not to suck off Death Stranding. Like I said, I never even beat the game, so it's not like I'm the biggest fan or anything.
For a stream, it looks way too boring and weird to play, but it's cool to get high and watch like a movie. There you go. For a lot of people, maybe they wouldn't be playing this game, but you want to watch someone else do it so that you don't have to tediously do it yourself. Also, keep in mind, being an interactive streamer, right? It works better when you're doing a tedious delivery. We can sit here and talk and chill while I'm doing the tedious delivery, as opposed to me doing it for myself and falling asleep. That's good.
Oh, I feel like you shouldn't be playing games that you're falling asleep during. That goes without saying, I thought. Ultra Gokui with the 5 saying only buys products that are name brand or big name, by the way. Well, of course. That's just who he is. He's a consumer. Absolutely. The biggest mark on the planet. 100%. Thank you for the 5.
Some Arcade says it's much more action from the start and way more interesting locations. That's
how far did I make it into Death Stranding? I want to say about halfway. That's usually about where I get into games, and then I get interested in another game that has another mechanic that I've never experienced or that I would like to experience, and then I get off in the weeds.
Sounds good to me, because the first game had a lot of barren open world bullshit that was so boring. I'm glad to hear there's better locations. Sounds good. Game Boy, how are you this morning? It's going well. Thank you for asking. JRW. Becoming a member this morning. Thank you to JRW for renewing that membership, because it looks like you've been a member for a while. You got that rose gold crown and you're renewing it manually. Thank you. That actually counts as our first contribution of the day. Thank you so much, JRW.
Thank you, JRW.
So
Actually, K-Sona, 56. Thank you for the sub, brother. I appreciate it. Big ups.
We beat Onimusha 2 so quickly, I had to change topics on the fly. So we ended up changing over to Capcom vs. SNK 2. Didn't do so well.
Didn't do so well, guys. And it was your fault.
Taxi Life did great.
You guys didn't tell him that he was on the final boss fight for Onimusha. So it was actually your fault that the stream went fucking poor and he had to switch over to the fighting games. Come on. Be better next time.
Yeah, good attendance, good engagement, and good support, and everyone loved Taxi Life. So I'm very happy for that. What is this? Oh, man, stupid YouTube does this every once in a while. They want me to verify. Oh, this is dumb. All right, let's see if this works. I don't know if this is going to work.
YouTube asks me to verify every single time I go live. Maybe that's because I only go live once a week, cool. But literally every time.
YouTube auto forces you to re-recognize who you are to make sure that it's really you. It's weird because it doesn't do it often. It does like every few months, I've noticed.
That's not my case.
During the live stream, but it was simple because I've set things up now with a whole bunch of different security precautions and things, so I can get in right away. So that was good. I didn't have to go through the long verification process like I used to have to.
All right.
Anyway,
long verification process, by the way, being, hey, look at your phone. We'll send you a number. Please click the number that we've set, like that you see on screen now. That is actually the verification for Google the majority of the time. Or an email verification that is just as long, about 30 seconds.
Yeah, Taxi Life went really well last night. So we had a great time with that, and we did hit a goal last night. So now we're at 33 out of 40 support goals hit, meaning if we can hit support goals moving forward today, tomorrow, Sunday, on Monday, we'll be doing DSP Tries It, the Grillo's pickle menu from Sonic. It's this big collab that they're doing. We'll be doing it on release day.
Oh, yeah. So I guess I should have said this. We did actually get the Wendy's meal. He didn't like the burger, only liked the fries. If that's my understanding. I didn't watch it. This is all secondhand information. I'm not at all surprised to hear that he didn't enjoy it. I'm not at all surprised to hear that all he could taste was salt when it came to the taki seasoning. Surprise, surprise, brother. It's chip seasoning. I don't know what you expected. But now we're begging for the pickleback burger or whatever the fuck from Sonic because he loves pickles. I don't know if that's going to be in this clip. But he said pickles about 7 times the other fucking day, back to back, and then ended it with, I love pickles so much. So I hope that got clipped somewhere out there and it's in the ether.
Which would be awesome to do it actually on the day it releases, okay? So let's do it. Let's get it. Let's hit these goals. Thank you to everyone who's here to chill and support today.
And Krauser Zero is in the chat, and he's asking if I saw what he posted about his lies about talking to the Cast and Chill devs. I did see that, and I thought the name was familiar, so big ups for being here. I saw a post from Krauser Zero on Twitter. I don't have the image. Don't ask me for it. I'm not going to get it. Where he asked them about dealing with DSP, and they confirmed that they had no interaction with him whatsoever, that there was never a plan to interact with him, but that moving forward, they will verify the people that they do interact with in order to align with what they view as a company to be the right and moral way to conduct yourself on the internet. So very cool that DSP lied about that. It also appears to me that he refunded the Cast and Chill despite only being, an indie game, not a full-priced title, but he didn't refund Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 despite all of the bitching, moaning, and complaining he did. So it's refund the indie devs that probably sold far less copies for a far smaller amount rather than refund the game that did exponentially better and sold buku. Sound good? Sounds good to me, dude.
Someone says, I heard other content creators are saying there's copyright in music tied to voice audio. It's a weird choice. I hope they fix it. So what you're saying is I'm going to get all my videos claimed on this playthrough. Oh, that's another thing. That happened last night. All the taxi sim
guys
that I
are
did,
saying he
all
got the code for Cast and Chill. He never bought it?
Because all the music in taxi sim is AI generated. And apparently they loaded the AI generated music into the YouTube algorithm to get claimed. So anyone who makes content with taxi sim and turns on, or taxi life, and turns on the radio loses the rights to their videos. Isn't that nice? I disputed it, but I don't think I'm going to get it. I think what's going to happen is they're going to clap back and they're going to basically say, oh,
they're going to clap back.
2 pennies you're making on these videos of ad revenue. We'll find out, okay? So, yeah, pretty messed up that they would put AI-generated music in their game, and then when you play their game, they claim your video like to take more money from you after the fact. But in regards to...
I guess so. But this is pretty fucking standard for video games at this point on YouTube, is it not? Isn't always having music on kind of like Streamer 101? If you're unsure what the case is on the game, you just turn the music off and move on positively. It's so weird to me that he still struggles with whether or not to have music on in every single fucking game, and then makes it his audience's problem that he got copyrighted because he didn't act within his best interest. It seems goofy as shit, but sure, man. Sure.
Death Stranding 2, I think what you're saying is there's dialogue that gets claimed. That's really stupid. You would hope that they will fix that, and I will probably dispute that too. In all the years I've been making content, which is 17 years that I've been making gaming content on the internet, I think there's only been maybe 4 times where I disputed a claim on YouTube and they didn't clear it up. One time back in the day was Rockstar claiming the Lost and Damned DLC for GTA 4 when it came out and it was new. And I tried to play it and they claimed it. They didn't claim it. They actually blocked it with copyright. And I disputed it and then they reinforced it. And I was like, what a bunch of shitbags. But that was a long time ago. Usually they don't. If you like dispute it, they'll just let it sit there for 30 days and then they just release it and then you just get all your revenue. It's just late. So I guess we'll see what happens.
So who is this segment for exactly? None of his viewers or content creators that this information is relevant to. None of them probably really care how much money he's making behind the scenes or the copyright. Is this a segment for him, as is pretty much always the case? Just another therapy session for the guy where he can recount these horrible, awful things that these companies did to him in the past that were probably and totally justified at the time. I agree.
License-free music from YouTube is exactly the same, Sidious. If you're not aware, license-free does not mean free to use forever. What it means is you don't have to pay for a license to use it in content, but then they're going to claim your content anyway, which is what happens. If you use license-free music, they will claim your video and get your ad revenue. They've done it to me before. There was this case where years ago, okay,
I don't think that that's actually true, and I think he's going to disprove that in this very next segment, if I recall correctly, and my understanding of this situation is accurate.
it was actually Machinima Network, right? Everyone worked for Machinima Network on YouTube. We all had partnerships with Machinima. So Machinima provided this third-party service. It was like a website that had all this license-free music. They said, as you're with Machinima, you get all this music. Use it.
Now, was the music license free, or were they working with this company in order to not have any sort of copyright issues with this music? Right? Like, that's where the real question is. I believe it's the latter. That's why you had to have the Machinima contract in order for this to be a benefit, because Machinima was probably paying for this service on your behalf.
So we all did. I used some of that music for a long time in various different projects and series that I did. And then later on, Machinima said, well, we're not going to pay for that service anymore. So don't worry, you can continue to use the music in your videos, but use it at your own risk.
So right there, confirmation, Machinima was paying on the back end for this service for all of their contractees to use. And they explicitly told him when they were no longer paying for the service, feel free to continue to use the music, but, you know, you're doing it at your own risk. We're not going to bat for this. We no longer, you know, have a contract with them. If they decided to take it out on you, that is what it is, and your own prerogative. That is actually the conversation he is admitting to right here.
Within 1 week, everyone's videos who ever used the music got claimed, and we all lost all money on those videos moving forward. So there's an entire, like, 4 years of DSP Tries It that I don't make any money on if you watch now.
Right. Because you no longer held the rights to use that music as it wasn't being paid for. And Logan K puts it perfectly, saying he had an audio network sub via Machinima. They let it lapse, so his right to use those tracks was no longer valid. Absolutely. It couldn't be made any more clear. Thank you, Logan K, for putting it that way. But I think that anybody understanding the story being told with basic comprehension skills could have understood that that was the concept, and that DSP just doesn't understand.
I'm serious.
But that made him think that licensed free music is still actually licensed, despite being literally named to the exact contrary.
YouTube is just messed up with the way that they do things. It makes no sense at all. Here's the thing, J. Kuma. It's really not a big deal. Like J. Kuma says, check settings to see if there's anything in there that they patched in. I'm watching Rad Brad. He had voice audio muted because of it. Rad Brad had voice audio muted because he wants to make money on his videos, because his videos, unbeknownst to just for some bizarre fucking reason, they still get like hundreds of thousands of views for playing gameplay. I don't know why, because no one else really gets those views. He still does for some reason. I don't know.
Because he's the exception. And I had this conversation with a coworker of mine when I was telling him about this segment. So I legitimately think that the Rad Brad is probably the most milquetoast, middle of the road gameplay commentary individual that there is. If you're ever curious about a game and you want an authentic gameplay experience before you purchase to see what the game is like, you can go and watch the Rad Brad, and he's going to be half decent at the game. He's going to make relevant commentary to what he's seeing on the screen and his experience with the game so far, and he's going to be a chill, positive style guy the whole time, and he's going to say nothing offensive. And I genuinely believe that is the niche that he fills, and why he still receives hundreds of thousands of views on all of his videos. Because he is just the most generic, vanilla, milquetoast gamer there is. And that is a service that a lot of people look for one reason or another. Now, I think it's incredibly insulting, not only to the Rad Brad, but pretty much to everybody, the way that DSP acts as though he's not entitled to ensure that the work that he puts on the internet, that he receives payment for. It seems like a weird perspective for DSP to come from, given that he also makes content on the internet and expects to be paid for it. But of course, he has to talk shit about other people that are doing something he wishes that he could do, which is making a reasonable amount of money, doing gameplay, video on demand commentary, and not having to beg or shill or sell themselves in any capacity. That's the real reason we have to talk shit about the Rad Brad right now, is because we're pocket watching and we detest that he's successful doing what we wish we could do. Thank you, Lily Pan Fran, for the 12 months, saying, "Hey, Atlas, I like the new avatar. I hope you have a good day. Big ups." Well, I'm glad you like the semi-new avatar. I actually have an even newer one in the form of Brokeback Atlas. We're not calling that that officially, but I'm allowed to. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Thank you for the 12 months.
But he actually makes bank on his playthroughs, so he wants to monetize it. So he would rather mute actual game dialogue to make money on his video. For me, I'm even if Death Stranding Part 2 gets 10,000 views on Part 1, the most I would make is like $15 on that video. So do I care? Not really. I'll probably just let it roll.
So then why is it a big deal that these DSP tries it from 4 years ago aren't receiving the 1 penny a month due to the copyright and the licensing on the music or whatever that we literally just complained about, right? Now it's not a big deal, but then, and even now on the videos that were then, that was a big deal.
Death Stranding 2 has nudity and you need to block it. Now, when you say nudity, what do you mean? Do you mean like Norman Reedus' butt cheeks? That's fine. If you mean like full frontal, yeah, there's problems there then. I hope that there's no full frontal. Thank you so much. 43 bucks of support. We didn't boot it yet is a good sign. Thank you, thank you. We got some subs. We got a membership. We got a super chat. How about a tip? Who's going to be our first tipper for today? Then we'll have it a little bit of everything, a little bit of variety, right? There you go.
There you go.
Okay, guys. First of all, thank you for the early support. Being a third of the way to the goal before we booted the game is
the
always
divorce line is ever
If we hit
approaching.
the
We
goal
are
today,
speeding this
excellent,
up.
superb. That will get us on track for DSP tries it on Monday. If we double the goal today, even better.
And you guys are pointing out in chat, yes, absolutely, we do approve of Norman Reedus's ass cheeks on screen as much as possible, but if there is a one dick and ball shot, obviously that is no good. Male butt, very cool. Dick and balls, not cool at all, dude. Thank you, Harley Wood, for the 15 months. Again, a lot of months. Thank you. Saying, just got here, but heading to Pride with my GF today, and just wanted to say, have a good day, y'all, and big ups, Atlas. Well, thank you, Harley Wood, for the big ups. Have fun. Thank you.
Because that would make up for the fact that we had the messed up early stream yesterday. All right, so please support this stream if you can. All right, let's play. What we're going to do is we're going to play for about an hour and a half. Then I'm going to take a break. Then we're going to play for the rest of the stream unbroken, like no more breaks, okay? There's only going to be one major break today. After the first
only
hour and a half
one
or so,
major
okay?
break. After an hour and a half of gaming. Real gamers can play video games for longer than an hour and a half. I hate to be the bearer of bad news here. If you can only play video games for an hour and a half, you're not a real gamer. I'm going to gatekeep. I'm going to draw the line there. Sorry if you fall outside of that line. What's it like to be a fraud?
So happen to have the PlayStation already on. We have to do an audio test because there's this weird thing that happens with PlayStation only. I don't know why. But when I play PS5, for some bizarre reason, I knew I had to. I was wondering if I had to adjust the camera. I have to adjust the camera. See that? Okay, let me adjust the camera.
It's
some
cutting
bizarre
off his
reason,
the top of his
when I
hair.
play on PS5,
super vital.
It
have to see
actually,
his hair.
There we go. Now we're good, right? I'll do one more actually. There we go.
What?
When I play on PS5, the audio desyncs, and I have absolutely no idea why it does that. But it does. It's really weird, and I haven't figured out the source of it yet. I know how to resync it. It's a momentary thing. I can fix it immediately, but I need you guys to tell me when the audio desyncs. So we're gonna do an audio test before we start, just to be sure the game hasn't desynced yet. And if it desyncs during gameplay, please tell me in the chat. Tag me, be like, "Hey Phil, you know the audio is desynced."
And this totally has to be a user error, by the way. I have no idea how he's got it set up in such a way in which audio tests are still a requirement and there is desync, but only for the PS5. That seems, like I said, like total user error. There's a reason nobody else has to do this. Thank you, Scrumbly, for the 5, saying, just saw a clip from his Death Stranding playthrough. The pretend you won option on the boss was so fucking funny. Yeah, once again, another mechanic that was entirely made for people like DSP. I was telling the Atlas about this the other day. She was watching a gameplay through herself, and there was the yellow paint, and I was explaining to her that they literally used DSP as a shining example of those mechanics in action and how helpful they are to regards like him, and she thought that was absolutely hysterical and incredibly sad that it had to be that way, and I couldn't help but agree. Thank you for the 5, Scrumbly. Krauser Zero asking, what if he only plays games for an hour and 29 minutes? fake gamer. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a hard line.
Please fix it. And I will fix it immediately because I don't want the playthrough to be all desynced, okay? When we play Capcom vs. SNK 2, it desynced once. So... Make sure the PS5's audio output is compatible with like stereo. Let's test that. I don't need... Well, here's the thing. If I do stereo...
Let's
well,
fuck
I'm not really
around
getting
with
surround
it.
sound with the TV anyway. That's true. Sound. Audio output. It's actually set to 2 channels, I think.
All right, I'm gonna spoil it. Like I said, divorce line approaching. The guy fucks up his audio. He can't hear, but the audio, but the audience can. And then he cries and bitches and moans and complains about how he has a Sony TV and the Sony console, but they don't like sync up together. And these fucking idiots at Sony have no idea what they're doing. So I'm just gonna spare you the menu UI noises. I'm gonna the additional 6 minutes of your time. We'll just move on because you get the gist. It's not that funny.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Because I got something else to tell you, brother.
Snort, snort,
Code.
drip, snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. Yeah, if you wanted a gifted sub last night, there was a lot of gifted subs, but maybe there will be tonight as well. So, guys, we are back on track. Thank you. Last night we hit
back
the goal
on
for
track.
Taxi Light.
Thank God.
Earlier today, we hit the goal for Death Stranding 2. So we are currently now at 35 out of 40 goals. And that means that we are right now on pace to hit our DSP Tries It for the new Grillo's Pickle menu at Sonic on Monday. Now, wait a minute, 34. I thought we were at 35. Let me do the math. 35, 36, 67. No, we are. We were at 34. We are on pace. We hit 34 tonight, or today. That's right. But we have to hit a goal every stream. Like, if we hit a goal every stream between now and Monday, we'll do it on Monday when that new menu comes out. I would love to do it on release day.
You guys remember when we got away from doing the streak because it was too much pressure and it ruined the vibe and the fun that people were having on stream? And now every single day, we're constantly reminded that in order to do the goal when he has arbitrarily decided he wants to do it, it always seems to be the case that we have to hit the goal every single stream anyway in order to do that. And if you don't, he bitches and complains about it. It's almost like the actual like parameters never changed and that it's always been this way. And it's just a new coat of paint on the same slop or something. It's weird how that keeps working out that way for him.
So please support the stream tonight, and let's keep that momentum rolling.
Browser Zero doing his own
Video
tries
games
it today on the pickleback burger or whatever from Sonic. Well, I hope it's delicious. Make sure to flex on the guy.
My game, Phil. Kojima-san. I don't love it yet, but I actually don't dislike it. I'm not upset yet. That's a good thing. I actually had a chill time with it today, so as long as that continues, I guess we'll see. Am I getting...
Scrumbly asking if I saw that his AC exploded, and instead of actually going out on his day off to get a new one, he bought a cheap Chinese one off of Amazon. Well, that's right up his alley. That's not a surprise to me at all. I did see the clip of it making noises or whatever, and he was freaking out. Oh, this isn't good, guys. I think the air conditioner is breaking. So I didn't know that he bought a cheap Chinese one on Amazon, but he doesn't leave the house and needs it delivered day one or next day or whatever the fuck the case is. So no, I didn't see it, but I'm not surprised.
A smorgasbord for the Sonic reward for the Sonic
smorgasbord.
DSP Tries It. We're doing the entire Grillo's Pickle menu, which is the double smash burger, the seasoned either tots or fries, doesn't really matter, they're pretty similar, and the drink. So we will be getting all 3 items. No White Claws tonight. Only when I'm driving games do I do the White Claws.
Only when I'm driving do I drink. It helps calm my nerves out there on the road, obviously.
All right. Hello Voltage, $2 super chat says, I got out of prison. Did you do the Takis menu yet? Yes, we did. We did do it the other day. You missed it. You can watch it over on DSP Reacts. It already has a lot of good views. Shocking. I didn't think it would have that many views. I think it's because I titled the video, Wendy's got my order wrong, because they did. They screwed it all up. So I couldn't properly review it because the sandwich was not properly made. But I think people found it entertaining regardless. So you can check it out over there.
Amazing. Thank you.
So far, so good with Death Stranding 2, Jalen. Let's actually see how the DSP Tries It has done. It already had over 1,000 views in like a day.
Let's pocket watch our own DSP Tries It publicly for everybody to laugh at. Go ahead. How many views it's got, DSP?
1,400 views and climbing.
Whoa,
it's actually
1,400 views?
It's essentially on pace to outperform the last 2 to 3 DSP Tries It's that I've done. If it keeps getting views at the rate it's getting, because it's only been there for less than 48 hours, and it's already almost got as many views like the last 3 or 4 episodes. So I guess people are entertained with the fact that Wendy screwed up my order. There you go.
Did he put that on the DSP
That's right, I'm going
Reacts
viral.
channel? Does he still do that? He doesn't. Those don't go on the DSP Gaming. God damn it! This fucking
1,000 people
NWA.
who checked it out. No, the truth is, like, that's good for me because you have to understand that every single time that I make content, 10 times as many people steal it and put it up on their shit first.
That's me. That's me.
So I have 1,400.
So in case you guys were wondering, DSP tries it. Taki's Fuego meal at Wendy's is currently sitting at 1.7 thousand views. Whoa. Absolutely raking in cash on that one. Clearly going viral. Everybody's just dying to see that. Of course, it's super robust. Sorry, I just wanted to
video,
check.
but you have to understand probably 10 to 50,000 people have seen it. Just I don't get credit for the views because people steal it and put it on their channel instead, which is illegal. But you know, that's the name of the game, I guess, on YouTube these days. So thank you to Cashums, our first sub of the night. Thank you to Hello Voltage, our first super chat of the night. Can we get our first tip of the night from someone right now? And can we get a membership? Can we get one of each, and then we'll jump into Steam and see what's going on with the summer sale?
We're gonna yes, this is the Steam summer sale looking at game stream. Sorry, I guess I didn't mention that, but I do love the way that he says, well, and then we'll jump into Steam, as if there's anything to actually do in Steam, like it's a game or something. There's a world to discover. He's actually just going to be doing the equivalent of scrolling through Amazon. That is actually the stream idea for the night, is to scroll through Steam.
Yes, channels like Raw Phil. Again, I've explained this.
Shout out
If
Raw
someone
Phil.
waits
Always
for my
shout out Raw
broadcast to be
Phil.
done, my broadcast is offline. Then they take content from that broadcast. They edit it to make a video that has a point, that has criticism, that has commentary over what I've done, even if it's making fun of me. 100% that is allowed. Fair use says you can do that. But fair use does not allow you to live rebroadcast.
I don't care about this. Scrumbly asking for confirmation. He actually just window shopped the Steam sale as a stream? Yes, idiot. He asked, and this was so funny to me. He asked people earlier in the week. He's like, guys, there's an open day on Thursday night that we could do whatever we want. We can play more video games, or we could do you guys remember Chill with Phil? We haven't done one of those in a while. We used to do those when we built Legos, or we would just do Q&A all night or whatever, and we haven't done one in a while. Or maybe we could do like an indies demo night or something, and that's what the people voted for. They wanted to see him play more indie games. They wanted to see him, go through 3 or 4 games over the course of the night and experience them. And somehow, some way, he just managed to weasel his way into doing essentially a Chill with Phil segment where he scrolled through the Steam store. I saw it coming from 100 miles away, but I never knew how he was going to do it. And he managed it. He figured it out, dude. He got exactly what he wanted, to not play video games and get paid for fucking nothing. And anytime he offers up options, and there's one that he very clearly would prefer, I have no doubt in my mind that will happen. He will discredit the polling results, or he will push it down. He'll kick the can down the road a little bit, but he will inevitably get exactly what he wants one way or another, come hell or high water.
Someone and allow you to be a surrogate or replacement for the original broadcast. Therefore, the original broadcast doesn't receive the views or revenue that it's owed. That is completely 100% illegal anywhere. It doesn't matter what people try to say or bullshit. It's illegal. That's why you can't live restream a sports event. That's why you can't live restream a movie or TV
we're doing
show.
this again.
That's why you can't live
We're
restream
letting it
anything
play out
without permission. There are
We
some
already did this
exceptions.
part.
For example, Summer Game Fest and the Game Awards. Jeff
We even
Keighley
talked about
outright
Summer
says
Game
you can
Fest.
restream, but you have to re-sign up for. You have to sign up for this rebroadcaster list. If you don't do that, you're technically breaking the law, but he doesn't prosecute or go after. Okay, but anything else is not fair game. You can't just steal someone's content live and put it somewhere. Any live rebroadcast is illegal. And if you're ripping someone's content live, as they do right now, they'll rip what I'm saying right now, make a highlight of it and post it on one of their channels before I have a chance to. That's illegal. You cannot do that. You have to wait for the original broadcast to end so it has a chance to be seen and earn revenue.
Oh my God. I'm over it. I was done. I'm sorry. For anybody that wanted to hear that, I'm sorry.
Good evening.
We're moving on. I can't take
and
this
true
shit
Super
no more,
Bonchan,
man.
I don't dislike any of these people. I don't know them. I don't watch their content. I don't care. I hear about them more from you than I know of them. I don't watch it.
Yeah, I hear that more from you, Super Bonchan, you fucking detractor yourself. Get out of here. You're the one that's always bringing up the trolls, not me.
All that stuff stricken from my feeds. When I go on YouTube, I never get recommended those crap videos. I have none of it in my social feeds. It's all gone. So it's as if they don't exist to me. I only know they exist because you tell me, hey, did you know that so-and-so is rebroadcasting you right now and getting all these views? That's how I know of their existence. I pay no heed.
He absolutely knows. He fucking thrives off of that shit. And I'm pretty sure that previously, when he was doing DSP reacts, you could see Detractor videos in the sidebar of the recommended. And at least one time, I want to say, correct me if my memory is wrong, with my elderly age, it's like that sometimes, but that there was a watch bar on one of them, and he did absolutely sit through it. So let's not pretend like we know nothing about the Detractors and they're completely off of our radar, guys.
There you go. But that's right, it is. It's like they're taking food off the plate. They're taking my profits. Again, I have a DSP tries it video that's getting more views at a more accelerated rate than anyone I've done in like the last several months. But if you look at the people who stole the video before I posted it, guess what? They stole all the initial views. That video, Dead to Rights, should have anywhere between 10 to 20,000 views minimum.
Dead to Rights should have 20 to 30,000 views minimum.
And that's my money.
This guy's absolutely fucking delusional.
Anything there that was monetized, that's my revenue that they have stolen.
20 to 30,000 people could not stomach watching DSP in a raw capacity. They wouldn't do it. That audience would not live.
So, you know, one day it'll clap back, but I guess they just want to keep digging themselves deeper. I already laid down the law the other day and said, listen,
lay down
I have
the
the legal
law.
right to do this. This is notice. And they continue to do it.
Sheriff
so let them keep
Side Phil
digging
laid down the
hole
law.
as deep as
Check
they
out his
want,
badge.
'cause that's just more money for me later. It's all good. Oh, this is funny. Someone said, why does YouTube allow this stuff? YouTube allows everything. YouTube literally will allow anything unless legal action is taken. They don't stop anything. Even their copyright system is busted. Let's say right now, you have something that you've created. It's 100% your work. Someone can literally take it from your channel and put it on theirs. And then if you strike them...
All right, okay. All right, guys. We're going to get to the Steam stuff. I don't want to hear this anymore.
Hey, good morning, Kanye.
All right. It was like 5 fucking more minutes, dude. Actually 5 minutes complaining about the same thing that he just did multiple fucking segments on earlier in the week. This is an everyday thing. And this is what I meant when I said that DSP has absolutely been on one with this H3H3 lawsuit, with this, oh, I'm going to sue the Detractors. They have no right to... Absolutely up his own ass exponentially this week. It might all be the same shit, but it's all the same shit to the nth degree. Thank you, VLX, thank you, VLX 11387 for the 2, saying food off the plate, but wife's fat. True? At least the second half. I don't know what food off the plate means. The wife's fat for sure. She's fat!
All right. Yikes. Okay, are we ready to start? All right. I teared up a little. That was funny. All right, let's get started. Here we go. Man, did they really do this? This is stupid. Ugh. Why did they do it like this? Like, seriously, right now, if they had one pack,
right,
and let's say even if it was like $40 and it had all the DLC in the game, I would buy it. But they're not doing that. I think they're doing it on purpose. So number one, you don't know what you're getting. Number two, you end up rebuying stuff. Like here's the perfect.
Wait, what? Already we're off to a bad start. We've got old man DSP trying to navigate a store page. What the fuck do you mean you don't know what you're getting? It's all very clearly laid out directly in front of him. You can actually still, despite this being a lower quality now, shrunk on your screen even smaller, and being zoomed out as is. Shut up, phone. You can still read the fucking states, the title of the states, the names, rather. What do you mean you don't know what the fuck you're getting?
For the example, Southwest Bundle, Texas Bundle, they both have the transport and heavy cargo DLCs. So if you buy it twice, you get the same thing twice. You double paid for it. See that crap?
Aren't these, but, and also, correct me if this is wrong. This has always been my case on Steam. When you put these things into your cart and you go to buy them, if you already own some of the DLC, they just tell you, hey, you own some of this DLC, so you will not be making a double purchase, because that's literally impossible on our site, and you will be not charged that money. That is how that mechanic has weird. That's how that mechanic has always worked on this site. But old man DSP doesn't understand.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
But he's confused. He's baffled.
See, the thing is, some customizations might actually be fun. Like some of these, like getting the custom wheels or whatever, that might be neat. But
also spending additional money on customizations for your fucking semi truck in American Truck Simulator. If you want to talk about a fucking mark, that's it. At least states add new content in the form of places to go, roads to drive. The actual point of playing American Truck Simulator, if you ask me, buying a million customizations that you will never see nor want is actually the definition of wasting money. I don't even know how that was on the table.
On Steam. Yes, you can. If you buy a bundle twice, you can definitely buy something twice. For sure, that can happen.
No, you can't. They will actually tell you cannot check out with items if you select for my account on the checkout and you already own that item. You cannot have duplicates.
They prorate the DLC packs. Is that true?
Yes.
So if this one right here doesn't have Utah, here, let's take a look. Bundle info. No, it doesn't. Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, and New Mexico, all for 60% off. With Texas being the biggest discount.
Shout out Texas, I guess.
Okay.
He's got the steepest discount.
No Utah.
Also, the most expensive one there? Nope, that's not true. It's Nebraska.
Missing from there. What other states are there that's not in that bundle? Right? If I go back, because there was Utah. What if I just click on Utah? Okay. It's in the Southwest bundle along with New Mexico and Colorado.
Right.
Ugh.
And I want to say, once again, tell me if I'm wrong, but you see how it says 57% off? Is the 7% not the additional 7% from the DLC he already owns in the bundle? Who the fuck has a sale for 57% off? That would be the first conclusion I would have come to, especially because it says complete your collection literally above the fucking bundle, indicating that they know he already owns some of the DLC.
I'm already starting to get a headache.
But we've got a headache from fucking scrolling through the store, guys. That's how upset and perturbed we are over this. This is how confused we are. We're thinking so hard we've developed a headache.
Why?
Sorry if I seem that upset about this myself, but it's just so stupid that he can't navigate a very basic storefront that's been existing in this way for as long as it has.
Okay, I want to get something, guys. I actually promised you a couple weeks ago, tonight we would buy some DLCs for American Truck Sim, okay?
Right.
What do you think we should get? Should I just buy one of these bundles like Southwest? What was the other one? Should I buy Texas with all these DLCs with it? Or would you prefer to see all of the states, but you don't care about the appearance stuff? Like, what's most valuable to you? The appearance of the truck or more maps, variety to drive? What would you guys like to see better? And I agree, this is predatory. It's a very annoying practice, the way that they've packaged this. It's meant to be confusing. It's not deceptive. It's confusing. So you end up not knowing what you're getting, you know. Like, if you...
Again, not knowing what you're getting while the names of the fucking DLCs are very clearly and properly laid out in front of you in the easiest to read format. This is as far from predatory as you can actually get, especially given the spaces that this guy resides in. He's a mobile game player who dabbles in microtransactions like nobody's business. But this is confusing. This is where we're drawing the line on predatory.
If I was looking at this right now, I'd be like, oh, I get everything with this. It's $35. It must have all the content. But it doesn't. It doesn't have Utah, so there's probably other missing states, and it doesn't have any customizations.
It's literally titled Great Plains Calling. If it's not a Great Plains state, I don't imagine that it would be in there. How can you be confused? And if you're unsure, they literally get listed. I agree.
So now if I go to DLC, and I go to lists, I go to map expansions, of course it's going to say that I own it. Nope, because I own Kansas, and it doesn't say I own it, but I have Kansas. Good Lord. I have Texas. It doesn't say that I have it. You've done it! You did it, Steam! You pissed me off and now I'm confused. I'm an old, kerfuddled, curmudgeon, middle-aged idiot, and I don't know what I'm doing on stream.
He laughs, he turns on clown mode, but all of the words that he stated were absolutely factual. Those were true statements being said. 100%. But I do have to appreciate the clown mode because see, there's nothing else entertaining going on the stream. That was the maximum amount of passion and the maximum amount of fun that DSP basically had the entire stream.
Right. People are saying to open and close Steam again. Hold on. Where it?
I like that we have to
Steam. No, I
hide
didn't.
Steam in order
Exit
to
Steam.
close it and open it. That's
Okay,
so
open
weird.
Steam. Okay.
All right.
Here we are. We're having fun tonight, aren't we, guys? We're having fun. Okay. We're in Steam. So here we are again. I've opened and closed Steam. It had a chance to refresh. Okay, it did. It had.
Now, for the record, and again, please, if this is not how it works, let me know. But my experience has always been closing Steam via the icon on the bottom of your screen that just says close Steam does not close Steam. Like there is background processes that you manually have to shut down in the task manager in order to properly exit Steam officially. And that is the actual way that you should be resetting Steam if you have an issue with it, because those background processes do not close and do not refresh. So he actually didn't at all do what he said.
Chance to refresh. So now we go to DLC. Now we go to lists. Then we go to map expansions. Okay. And it still didn't update. So I give up. It just doesn't update. Like, it updated Oregon.
And this is why I struggle to believe that he even knows anything about PCs back in the 90s when he claims to have built them and had a LAN network at his parents' house or whatever, because the guy just can't even navigate the UI of Windows, one of the most brain-dead, normie-friendly fucking OSs on the planet. He can't navigate it enough to properly close any program in order to refresh it if it has background processes. Well, what are we doing here, Bappa? What are we doing?
Is grayed out. It updated Washington. Washington is grayed out, but it refuses to gray out the other states that I own. So there's no easy way to know what I don't have. No, I actually exited Steam, then I restarted it and logged in again. It all did it all. So no, I didn't just close it and open it. I did.
See, and he even throws in this weird additional I logged in again, but you never saw him put it in his password. You didn't see him use the Steam authenticator on his phone. So he didn't log in. You cannot log into Steam without doing at least one of those two things. Oftentimes both of them. There was never a login. But we're just straight up lying to the audience. For what? What do we gain out of this other than looking more stupid than you already do?
It actually cycle through. So basically, Steam sucks. I don't know what I own, but I bought a lot, right? I bought a lot, and I also got Black Mesa, and I also got Battlefront, okay?
All right.
We're not
Sounds good.
done. We just
I don't
got
know why
started.
we bought Battlefront,
Sheesh,
but
I mean, they don't make anything easy, do they? At all. They don't make anything easy. Someone took the box says, if you go to the library page for Truck Sim, click on Manage My DLCs, it'll show what you own.
yes. Yes. You click on the DLC icon right there.
Manage
Right
My
there.
DLCs.
Click the deal.
That doesn't seem to exist unless you're talking about a different page.
Oh, man.
I don't see a Manage My DLCs here. Unless you mean store page.
We've just completely navigated off the
I can
page
write
at
a review.
all. You remember a couple of weeks ago when we were playing when he was playing Blueprints, they said like actually just go interact with your grandfather or your grandparents or whatever, an elderly person in your life. They're probably more entertaining and you can have the same experience. This holds true for this as well. If you just go and ask your granddad to like get on Amazon and navigate the storefront, he'll probably run into some of the same problems, but he'll be far more likable and tolerable than the guy. I fail to see what the actual entertainment value is for anybody other than detractors.
So what's funny is that the game is only $5. It's on sale. That's why. Okay, here we go.
The game is only $5, guys. It's because it's on sale. That's why. Thank you for that. I would have never have known.
Complete your collection. Okay.
Yes.
So what happened?
It
This is very
said that the
fascinating.
whole
By the way,
time.
thanks for the dollar tip. We're gonna figure this out.
It never not
This is
said that.
fascinating. See, watch Texas size bundle. Wait, what? No, see, it didn't work. Guys,
Wait, what?
it doesn't work.
Oh.
I have Texas. We were in the game. In the game, it says I have Texas loaded. Here we are in Steam, and it claims I don't have it. Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't work. None of the stuff works. It's all...
So there's a UI issue. It's not tracking properly. Why don't you just keep track of the DLCs you have and then figure it out, brother, and buy the ones that you need? Like, there doesn't have to be confusion and an irate rant segment about this. We could just do the thing we came to do.
Screwed up. If right now, if I were to buy this, they would charge me for Texas again.
And yes, it is because he did not refresh Steam. Absolutely. It's the exact same problem that he was having before.
That's what I'm telling you. This stuff is deceptive, man. 100%, I told you. This is not working. So, yeah, it just doesn't work.
All right. It doesn't work. So what are you going to do about it?
So,
how are you going to navigate this
we've
challenge?
done enough with Truck Sim, shall we? Can we agree? I already invested $35 in the Truck Sim tonight. That's enough. We have a lot of new states we can do. We will. Next time we play, we'll do a whole new state. We'll go right to it, maybe do a new job, right? In a new area. Okay. Hey, look, someone just tipped me $1.
All right.
You scrolled past it twice. On the right side of the library page, there's a selection for DLCs with a small option on the bottom that says Manage My DLC. Good God. Why don't they make it more difficult?
Why did he have to read it like that? Like, he started reading it like one of those, 4-paragraph comments that he, gets all of the time about how cool he is. Why did he start reading it like that? This person is legitimately just trying to solve the problem that is directly before him. How could you be so disrespectful to this person when you're actively asking what is going on and saying you're confused? But then to sit there and say that it's super complicated because you scrolled past the icon 9 times, that's on nobody but himself.
Why don't they make it so I have to go to actual Steam's, like, go to Valve's headquarters, and I ask the receptionist for an appointment?
And now we got to go to extremes.
Say, what would you like? Hey, could you update the DLCs on my Steam account? Oh, what's your account? Okay, okay, it's been done. Thanks. I'm glad I flew out here to do that.
And yes,
but anyway, thanks for the $1 tip.
Absolutely. DLC was literally right next to the store tab that he clicked on, and he didn't even bother clicking on the DLC option. No.
Thanks for that. Let's see. Lords of the Fallen. Hell no. Oh, by the way, this is hilarious. First Berserker Kazan. Anyone remember that one? Anyone? Do you see the point that I'm making about all of these Souls-likes? Is that there's too many of them? Like, when there was 1 or 2 Souls-likes a year, and there was no FromSoft game coming out, then they would get attention, and people would be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. There's too many Souls-likes now coming out, so they all just immediately get forgotten. Like, I remember the week that game came out, you guys were mad I didn't play it, and then within a few days, no one has ever mentioned that game again. It's been like 3 months. No.
He says that about 90% of the games that come out, simply because people have the ability to talk about and enjoy multiple games at the same time, and he doesn't. Like, he genuinely, fundamentally does not understand that people can have interests that, are multiple games at the same time. That you don't have to be absolutely obsessed and enveloped in one entire game in the community of it, and that is the only indication that you enjoyed the game. Because that's not how most people work. He does not understand that.
No one knows about that game. It's as if it never existed. You cannot flood the market with a bunch of copycats and expect that anyone's going to care. That was the problem. They're just not special anymore. So even if this game is good, I still don't care. I just played the Lies of P DLC. I played Elden Ring Night Rain, right? I don't want to play another one. I don't give a shit. And that's the problem when everyone is running for that same carrot, that same dangling. They think it's low-hanging fruit. They think, oh, the market is really craving Souls-likes. That's true, but when you sadly go crazy with Souls-likes, no one cares anymore. And it's the same thing for any style of game. I'm just saying right now, Souls-like seems to be the kind that's way oversaturated, and I just don't give a shit about it,
Well, that's great that he doesn't give a shit about it, but there are people that only play Souls-likes. There are people that only play first-person shooters. There are people that only play RTSs, only play RPGs. The list goes on for every single genre. So what are those people supposed to do when they beat their favorite Souls-like? They do the 100%. They do an additional playthrough and they do all the content. They probably would be looking for another game, no? And that's believe it or not, part of the niche that this game would fill and every other game in the genre would fill, and it would sell to those people. And if the audience is big enough, which it's proven that is the case, there's no problem with it. They make their money back and they continue to be game developers. Where is the issue other than that DSP doesn't personally like it?
All right, really fast, I'm going to run and use the restroom, and I'll be right back. I'm not even going to play any clips or nothing. I'll be right back in like a minute. I'm just going to go use the restroom, and and blow my nose because my nose is itching me tonight, my stupid allergies. And then we'll come back for another hour. Thank you guys so far. I mean, you've been great. Support is great. I mean, with an hour left, we're probably going to hit the goal. And I appreciate that, guys. Let's hit that goal. Keep that momentum going for DSP Tries It on Monday, okay? But I'll be right back. What is this Project Zomboid you guys keep mentioning?
Okay, here's my actual favorite part of this clip. This is why this made the cut at all, because yelling at DSP about not being able to navigate the Steam store was not exactly, I think, the highlight. It's, of course, DSP hating on some of my favorite games. Mine, personally. I love these games, okay? I am one of the autistic-style Rimworld enjoyers. That's not a derogatory. It is what it is, and you all you Rimworld enjoyers know. Okay.
We looked at it before, did we not?
And I think Project
Yeah, dude, the game
Zomboid falls
is
into that
12
same
years
category. Real talk.
What is this? Project Zomboid?
This game rocks, by the way. It's a whole lot of fun. Very in-depth. A lot of mechanics at play.
Survival. Wait, what? How could it be early access? How could this possibly be early access? What are they talking about? The game came out in 2013, and it says it's early access.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I'm pretty
Additional.
confused, to say the least.
Ow. Build
Unstable.
43 is coming out. Like, he doesn't understand early access either, I guess, on Steam, and how it's utilized both properly and improperly. But I think that Project Zomboid does a fantastic job of still being actively developed. And as a matter of fact, the update 43, it sounds crazy, right? With the animal, you guys know, if you know, it's got animal husbandry in it. It's got animals. They reworked some of the already in-game fucking mechanics. It's gonna be hype, but because it's old, the DSP says it's not allowed to be developed anymore. Sound good?
Open-ended zombie-infested sandbox. It asks a question: how will you
Is it
die?
42 now? I thought it was
Towns of
43 coming
Luldraw
out.
And West Point survivors must loot houses, build defenses, and do their utmost to delay their
I
inevitable.
haven't played in a
All right, how
while.
about
I'm waiting
this?
for the update,
I
guys.
will
Come
put
on,
this on my
come
wish
on.
list. This is the kind of game.
Oh
that
yeah,
gives-
ragdoll effects in Project Zomboid. That's gonna be fucking hype, dude. That's gonna be crazy to see on that on that engine. The way that game looks.
for Halloween.
Okay, it's 42. My bad,
Seriously.
my bad. It's not 40.
Oh, it's on my wish list already? No, here we go. This is a Halloween game. 100% this is a Halloween game, right? I would play this during the Halloween marathon, and we can check it out and see if it's something worth playing further. It's only $6. It's definitely Halloween material, but I don't think I want to play it now. Okay?
This is Halloween
Yeah,
material.
Judge Dredd, check out
We can only play zombie games during Halloween, of course.
Earthbound. Let me see if that counted for tonight or not. I don't know if that did. No, it didn't. It didn't count for tonight. Darn.
Yo, I thought about picking up
Guys, we
Mortal
only
Sin
have-
at
wait.
1.2, and I never did.
We only have one sub tonight
I'd
on
probably
Kick?
be bad at it.
Well, that's it. I'm turning the stream off over there. I'm turning it off right now. One? That's ludicrous. That's blasphemy to the king. One sub? We got to get better than that. Come on. Jeez. Anyway, what was I doing? I got distracted. It's $7 for this shit? I could make this game for cheaper than $7, and I don't even know how to make a game. All right, that's ass. What was the other game that you recommended?
Great. Just shitting on this random game with mostly negative reviews, by the way. He probably should have just read those and had a laugh at that, but sure. Yeah, DSP would have made a far better game, of
You
course.
said Judge Simulator. What was the other one? Rimworld. Rimworld better be better than
Hell
this.
yeah. Rimworld is
That
better
was
than
pathetic.
this.
Rimworld. Wow, it's expensive.
Not
$28.
that-
What is this? What is this? This is what you suggest for me? This nonsense? Look at this game. How dare you? How insulting. Look at this game.
What do you mean, look at this game? This is one of the best colony sims I've ever played. As a city builder enjoyer, as a colony sim enjoyer, as a simulation style, I'm gonna say enjoyer one more time. This is like Rimworld is, I think, almost peak game design when it comes to that. Like, the visuals are really the only complaint you could have, and even then, I think if you're going and expecting visuals, your priorities are in the wrong place when it comes to this genre specifically. Shout out all of my Dwarf Fortress players as well. You know what's up.
No, you guys told me about this one before, right? You said that basically the graphics look silly but the game is actually a really, really good game. That it's a plot, a interesting plot about survival or something like that, right?
What the fuck?
Like you said, it was pretty good. Like the actual narrative. See, I would compare this to say.
He keeps saying the narrative. There's a survival plot. There is no story to this game. He is misunderstanding what is being said to him when people describe the game to him, and apparently is unwilling to look up gameplay or read reviews. So he actually doesn't know anything about this game.
Did you ever play the game? Oh God, what was it? To the Moon? To the Moon looks like shit. It looks like Final Fantasy 6 or 4 in a modern day. You know, like why would I play that? But actually, it's one of the most emotional games I've ever played back in the day. So if it's like that, I don't really care about the graphics. But I'm gonna be honest, the graphics do look crap. This looks.
All of you people getting, I'm sure you have very emotional tales to tell from your Rimworld experiences. Very interesting plot. Very, very cool narrative-driven story provided in this game, of course.
Like a shitty Flash game.
I can't wait for him to actually play this one day and yell at his audience and him tell them that he was misled and that they lied. That'll be so funny to me.
But I'm gonna take your word for it that there is a good game behind it, even though it looks like ass.
And it doesn't look like ass either. This was very distinctly a decision that was made in order to get across the ideas at play. Because like I said, there's mechanics in depth here. There are things being simulated and a lot of numbers being tracked. If your colony gets big enough, it actually runs like ass. That's the kind of simulation style experience you can expect.
Oh yeah, King Ferb says Jade wants to look at dinosaur games, but the only good one is probably Turok. Well, there's also there's Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Evolution, but I've already played one of those. Why is this $28?
Because it's good.
Why is it so expensive?
And infinitely moddable, by the way. Not to keep sucking off Rimworld, but the amount of mods and the customization you can have is absolutely otherworldly. No pun intended. It's an infinite sandbox if you want it to be.
It looks like it was made in Flash for $2. Why is it $28? If this game, no lie, right now if this game were $7, I would buy it. $28, man? Look at it. It looks like the doodles of a 5-year-old. What happened here?
$28 for a game with infinite replayability is too much for the guy, but he spends just about that to get one fucking meal DoorDashed from Wendy's. Just let that sink in. Infinite playtime is not even comparable for the guy as long as he gets to eat his fucking Wendy's.
1 million copies sold. Oh my God.
I mean, like, and you can even see in the trailer, like, this colony is getting hit by a fucking orbital space laser. Like, that's the kind of progress you can make and the absolute devastation you can inflict, right? And it's an entire grind and storyline that you make up yourself all the way to that point. And it would be completely lost on him.
Your future stepdad dropping a 5-sub bomb over on Kick. 5 subaroonies from your future stepdad. That is $25 to support, my friends. That means it is absolutely, positively, without a doubt, undeniably true. Tonight on this very stream, on June 26, 2025, the year of our Lord, it has come to pass.
Shout out the Lord. Hell yeah. Hallelujah, DSP. Let's fucking go.
That here in the King's Court, the coffers have been filled, the taxes have been paid, and ladies and gentlemen, we did it again. We hit the goal.
All right. Somebody is asking in chat, where did it go? Let me find it. Infamous. It was Infamous asking if I saw that the one of the devs tweeted at DSP. Yes. And apparently he's not a very big fan of the guy and he does not want to be involved with him. I thought that was really funny. I do think that is where I'm going to cut this stream, though. It is noon. That is my divorce line. In fact, it's noon 01. I'm probably getting divorced. I want to thank you all so much for stopping by and banishing yourself once again to the Atlas Shadow Realm that is Saturday mornings with me. You will all be sent to... I want to send you all to WPIG, or TBS rather, because they're doing King of the Ring today, but I believe it starts in 5 hours. So you'll be sent there, and I guess you can just wait in purgatory until it's time. I hope you all have a fantastic time there, though. I'm sure the songs are going to kick ass and you're all going to have a lot of fun. Stay safe for the rest of the weekend. I hope to see you tomorrow as well for WPIG. We're going to be doing a Family Feud style event, I guess. That's the plan. So I hope you'll all show up for that. Stay safe for the. I didn't mean 5 hours. Mine still says 5 hours. It didn't update. They do start at an hour. Okay, cool. That's not nearly as bad then. My YouTube hates me. I think it thinks I'm in a different time zone or something. But anyway, stay safe. Goodbye. I appreciate you all.